going to be paused for a while, but everyone can add their nation to their name on the on the server, and we'll start soon.
While everyone's here, I just want to say if you're an Asian country and want to speak to Britain, come to me as India first, because the Britain player doesn't want to get overwhelmed with requests, so I'm handling Asian diplomacy.
Very soon then.
Yep. Okay, people can go to their personal channels, and yes.
I don't know.
What do you mean Asian player? They don't.
Get going. Let me go ahead and turn on the music. Actually, you know what? I could play the YouTube playlist. That's a little bit actually more stable. Oh yeah, 3 music playlist. All right. Starts very soft and go loud. Okay, we are playing some more Vicky 3 roleplay this Sunday afternoon. We are doing a new game. The old one was ended due to unfortunate reasons, and we are beginning a new one. We're going to be playing Prussia today. I spoke a little bit earlier in the other stream about what is going to be a little bit different here. Just to overview the main thing that is different for our Prussia versus the historical one, because I'm going to run with an alt history thing here. Historically, the current king, Friedrich Wilhelm von Hohenzollern III, he was basically a very weak ruler. He was known for being incredibly fucking weak. However, historically, before she died, he had a wife who was very smart, very intelligent, very capable, very politically well-connected, and kind of saved his ass and pushed a lot of reform. She died during the Napoleonic Wars. After Napoleon sieged out Berlin and occupied it, she was pushed east, along with the rest of the government in exile, and died, unfortunately. In this timeline, she survived. And as such, there was basically a huge reform movement in Prussia after the Napoleonic Wars, where the reformers under like von Hardenberg, and then like the military reformers like the field marshals and stuff, completely overhauled the country and liberalized it to a degree. Now, there's no save bets before the start of the game, but law-wise, we're gonna, when we can, go to protectionism. We're going to go for what's it called? What it would be? It would be wealth voting, and then we'll go for we'll keep the monarchy. So it'd be wealth voting. There'll be a voting system and parties and stuff like that. We've got a political system, and we also need schools because we implemented schools as part of the reforms. I don't know why these laws aren't in the game at the start. Historically, they're supposed to be there. Again, as usual, Paradox not doing their research, not making things properly. But regardless, that's kind of where we're at. What's up, Dolphin? So yeah, that's what we're doing with this Prussia game. Let's go ahead and see if we can form a new government. We're gonna get rid of the Junkers because in our alt timeline, it would be the military and the industrialists who are in power. That this is exactly what it would be. Probably the intelligentsia too, but that would ruin our governance. So we'll just do this. We're not gonna accept that. Accept that. So obviously we're playing Prussia, which can foreign Germany. In order to do that, we basically have to make plays to conquer or diplomatically annex parts of the region. I think it's a diplomatic play. Let me see. I've actually never played Prussia in this, by the way. Never have done that. We get one which is like unified Germany, but I believe we need pan-nationalism for it first, or nationalism. So we'll go for that eventually. I'm not going to rush it or anything like that. Let's start working on the colony. Why the fuck are we on paused already? Hastening, dude. Hold on. All right, anyway. Okay, so we need a lot of groceries, explosives, tools. We'll go for tools first. We'll build those up to develop our economy. Got to run here a little bit because... Okay, anyway, so yeah, we'll work on tool stuff. So we are industrializing right now. Currently in our government, we have, in the past, we instituted the there was a name for it. It was the Charter of Rights, basically, that was proposed in Prussia and passed. It was watered down. In this timeline, it wasn't watered down. Serfdom has been entirely abolished. We also passed a law that in the RP that basically says that if you are a foreign national who owns land in Prussia, which was common, a lot of the Germanic princes own land in Prussia, even though they technically retired to other countries or in other countries. You also have to abolish serfdom in all of your lands, even if they're in a foreign country. If you don't, you have to sell those lands to another Prussian Junker or aristocrat who will. So we've been very harsh with that because we're trying to actually build up the economy and reform things. So, and when you got a second, do you see if the player map actually works? Yes, I can. Yes, it does work. Yes, it does, Dinarka. Kind of. Like, you can tell more or less who is a player and who is not. It's not an exact science, but more or less. Oh, goddamn, I hate how it always switches off. I don't know why it does it. But you can kind of see attitude, so it says if it's a player or not. No, it doesn't. Is it controlled by a human player and it doesn't show up? If you hover over them, it will show you, but it doesn't show the map, no. It does not, Dinarka. Yeah, oh well. What's up, Susie? Okay. The industrials have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farmers and Prussian handholds, starting with the undeniable inefficiency that should be addressed. We agree. We need to build quicker, so I'm going to build up some more construction facilities in the Rhineland and in Brandenburg. Also, the other thing is, basically, as I said, the Queen did not die in this timeline, Queen Louise. She's basically in charge. There was basically a mini coup / civil war in the timeline I wrote. I did an RP post for that, where when the reforms were happening, like all the old school, old guard basically occupied Berlin. They were basically slaughtered by one of the field marshals, the reformers, and a new government was formed, but they almost pushed out the king. So the queen's basically more or less in charge now. She was significantly more popular historically than the king was, Friedrich Wilhelm III. No one really liked him. They really liked her, but before she died. She's still alive though, and she effectively is in charge of the government. So we're gonna RP as her, not the king. The king is around, but he's really fucking disliked, which was historically accurate. Will it be Friends of America? They're not high on our list of people we're interested in, to be honest. Let me try something. We'll do that. There we go. Okay. Let's look at our economy. We'll go for a standardized filing system. A bit more. We do a lot of trade routes. We are second mercantilist. I'll have to put in a save edit. Nope, we're interventionist. That's our, never mind. Mercantilist, we can go free trade. We can't go protectionism. That fits what the RP was, so we're gonna go free trade Prussia. We'll declare an interest in Italy. The use of filing cabinets of the government administration has drastically increased the effectiveness of state bureaucracy. We'll go for identification documents down the line. For our decrees. No, we're not going to go for decrees. We want to keep this authority so we can push through some of the reforms that we need. With our government, which is made up of the armed forces and industrialists. What's our heir like? He is reserved. Friedrich Wilhelm von Hohenzollern. He'd be the fourth, I think. I believe. We should try to emulate some American values, so sort of a friendship with them. Why would we want to emulate American values? We're nationalistic Germans. Why would we ever do that? There's no way. What's up, Seago? Pro I'll pick on Discord Goofy. What is it? Writing roleplay is up. I'm very profound and ongoing U4 game. Wish you'll join a campaign soon. Maybe. U4 does not appeal to me as much as the other Paradox games, but maybe one day. The Legends have expressed their concerns about government decisions, clearly favoring the industrialists. Well, yeah, we are favoring them. We're trying to industrialize the country. I'm gonna go to some diplo talks with the British in just a moment, but I want to get on the right page here. Can't do any decisions. Urbanize. Munitions industries. Okay, if we're going to go free trade and export rule, we need to really build up our industry. We're going to build up tools, and then we're going to build up iron mines. If we go free trade, we can import it, though, so we'll see. More pragmatically inclined members of the rural folk currently post the passing of free trade offered up to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. We're still a reformer government, so we'd be willing to make concessions to get something passed. So we'll do that. Market access in Westphalia. Taxation in the Rhine and Silesia. Good to know of declared interest. We'll do... I haven't decided if we're going to go colonial, so we'll go, I guess, for Iberia. We'll just go for all the European regions. And then we'll go for the Balkans. That'd be more or less what Germany would be interested, or Prussia in this time period. Okay. And then we just have to work on goods. Alright, let's go talk to the British. If they are free. I do not see them. No, he's busy. He's got like 5 people in his VC. We're gonna wait. I'm not going in there. Okay. 2 workshops. Let's work on iron mines now. I think Silesia has a bonus, right? No coal mine bonus. It has infrastructure as well. We'll build up the iron mines of Silesia. Silesia was historically hyper-industrialized for Germany. Or at least it had a lot of resource extraction. We'll go for 8 in Silesia. Are you going to be racist, Prussia, or multiculturalist? Somewhere in the middle. We're not going to be really either way. Claiming that the enactment of free trade would affect the country's Ashkenazi inhabitants in a disproportionately negative way, Ashkenazi firebrands have riled their communities against the current law proposal. I mean, that's not really relevant, so we'll ignore that. 36%. We have really high authority, so we should be able to pass a lot of reforms very quickly. What else can we do? Hopefully we can do hospitals. I don't think so. Education. No, we do have public schools. We could raise that institution, which is what we would realistically do, so we'll go for that. I'm just trying to get our country up to where I wanted it to be, like with the pre-RP, basically. And we are running a massive deficit due to the fact that we just can't afford the iron we need to continue to build industry like we're doing. But we're going to handle that. I don't think we can do anything else for buildings. Prussia is one of the countries that starts with actually all their stuff set more or less, right? Yeah, they are. We're good. Alright, I'm going to send an ambassador to France too, because we got a very aggressive letter from them before the start of the game, and I want to go ahead and see what's up with that. Assuming he is around. He is not around. Where is he? Also has 10 people in his channel. Very well. Alright, we'll wait then. Suppose an ambassador to Austria wouldn't be a bad idea. We don't have the best relations with them, but we're also not actively hostile at the moment. Hello there.
Hello.
Can you turn your mic up at all? I have you at 200% and I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Hello, is that better?
A little bit, yeah. Greetings, this is an ambassador of the Kingdom of Prussia.
Hello, welcome. It is a pleasure to host you here. How can I assist you today?
You as well. I'm just an ambassador sent by Queen Louise and King Friedrich in order to speak with you about the current state of our mutual borders and the, if we're going to be honest, rather frosty relations between our countries. We have a complicated history, but given that we have fought together in recent times, I think that at least a narrative can be had, a conversation.
Of course, the Austrian Empire is always welcome to discuss German interests with German people.
It's good to hear. We'd just like to clarify, obviously, you know about the reforms we've made over the last 2 decades. And we obviously have assured you numerous times that we are not using them to obviously annex states or take unnecessary action. But we just wanted to get the opinion on Austria regarding, the free trade system that we have currently for Germanic-speaking peoples, as well as the non-tariff zone. And also, potentially, if you did support it, see if the Austrians, as fellow Germans, would be interested in joining it as well, as we've never had an official statement from your government on it.
They're interesting topics, and they're something that have been debated within the Council of the Austrian Empire. We've yet to reach a full conclusion on the matter ourselves. However, we don't see any major negatives to a kind of a full German open trade agreement. It sounds good to me, and it sounds good to the Kaiser.
It's good to hear. I mean, we've had it for over a decade now in the Germanic-speaking provinces for the most part. The Kingdom of Bavaria, I believe, still does levy some small taxes and tariffs, and in kind, we do the same back as the. It is a system such that the system only applies if both parties do it. But it has proven very, very competent. My Queen and King feel in being able to facilitate good trade between German peoples and not have profiteering happening against our fellow German people. And we would simply wish to offer the same to the Austrians. But if that's not something you're interested in, it's completely understandable. We do hope that we will get a formal statement from your government about it before too long, in any capacity.
Yes, we'll definitely be making a statement on the changes soon. I think we'll need to take it into consideration some more, and to also see what your country does in regards to this. We'd also like to understand what Prussia's position is regarding the independent status of the German miners.
The Queen and King have a very simple mindset when it comes to this system. As I'm sure you all know, after the 5-day war in Berlin, where we were close to the breakdown of our kingdom and the government as a whole, we established a mild general assembly. We have a new system for overseeing the regions of Prussia known as the state system. There's a German word, I don't remember what it was, wherein we obviously give them a degree of autonomy underneath the General Assembly, and we have a standardization degree. We do have an open offer to any Germanic states, as I'm sure you're aware. There are many noble families, leaders, and aristocrats who own land in Prussia that also rule or have land in the other Germanic states. And as such, there is an open offer for any state to join the Kingdom of Prussia, but we will never pressure any country to do so. And it is their right as sovereign states to choose that if they wish.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, and that is the kind of agreement of the Austrian Empire as well. We are happy
we would like
with
to ask what your opinion is on
attitude.
the independence of the Germanic states, both in the southern and northern regions.
We are, as the former custodians of the Holy Roman Empire, and we'd like to abide by the agreement made in the kind of German Confederation. I know our tensions have been tough, and we haven't seen eye to eye on many, if not all things. And so we
Numerous.
wish.
There's a long history there.
Yeah, we do indeed have a long history. I hope that will change, but our view is, as long as the independent states aren't taken by any economical or military kind of force at all, we're happy for them to join your nation.
It's good to hear.
But we don't, obviously, we will not support any Prussian aggression towards these states in order to forcibly join your statehood.
I understand. Well, in that case, I think we should also have a conversation regarding the sovereignty of the Germanic states. The Queen received a letter from the King of France, which, although in some ways friendly, was a little bit worrying to us, in that she felt as though the French king was expressing that the French in some way had a say in the goings-on of the Germanic people, which of course is offensive to our country. We did not obviously turn it into an issue and responded. The Queen feels quite reasonably, but we just would like to get Austria's opinion in regards to foreign powers making any attempts or moves or violating the sovereignty of Germanic peoples, as we do feel that given that letter, this is an issue we wanted to bring up with the Austrian Empire.
Absolutely. I will state that the Kaiser himself wrote several letters to the outside European powers, stating that we wish for them to be completely neutral in all German affairs internally, and that they will be dealt with internally by yourselves and ourselves in regards to that. So we are very disappointed to hear that France has tried to pressure
yourselves. I do want to clarify, though, it was not an express statement. It was just more, they were basically suggesting that they would only acknowledge certain things being done certain ways if we, for example, were to take more states into our country and things like that. So I want to clarify, it wasn't an outright act of aggression towards the Germanic states, but it was just seen by us as, again, a suggestion that they do have a say in it, which of course they do not. They are not Germans, they are French, and as such do have no say in what we do.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And your belief is held by the Austrian Empire. Everything German should be handled by the Germans. I don't believe they have any say in any of it. Even subtly suggesting things, I don't think is acceptable.
That's good to hear. In that case, this doesn't have to be an official agreement, but can we get a behind closed doors assurance and agreement from both of our kingdom and your empire that if any power, foreign and non-Germanic, were to take actions against the Germanic people, we would be willing to come to one another's aids, purely out of a cultural issue, not in terms of politics and things like that.
Context is always important in these discussions. Whilst any outward aggression towards yourselves or any of the German miners will be met with swift Austrian force. We will say that should you decide to aggressively take any German miners, we will allow any Europeans to
and we've already stated that we have no intention to do that, and we're clarifying this in the context of outward aggression without any proper cause.
Then yes, backdoors, sorry, yes. Absolutely. Austrian Empire will agree to that.
Wonderful. That's very good to hear. In that case, is there anything else I can do for you before I return home to tell the Queen and King of what has gone on here today?
No, I believe we've covered any issues that needed to be discussed.
Very good. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we look forward to good relations in the future. Farewell.
Indeed, farewell.
Cool, that went well. I was hoping that would happen. I actually want to reconcile with Austria. I think it'd be interesting. Maybe we'll do the Brothers' War, maybe, but I don't want to. This is an alt history Prussia, and I want to do something a little bit different on it, so we'll see what's up. Almost in debt, yes, Jimmy, absolutely. I missed some stuff here. Talk to Sweden, yes, we'll definitely want to do that. We're not going to do German nationalism, I don't think. What's that pigeon? Yeah, Victory MP. The Queen is in control right now. Wilhelm the Third, the King, is he has no power after the 5-Day War, which was almost a civil war for our country. I wrote in the RP, so, yep. What's up, man? All right, we need to go speak with the British, we need to go speak with the Swedish, we need to speak with the French. I also need to make sure that our economy is actually going. I don't mind if we run a bit of a deficit here, to be honest, but because we're building up our iron industry, which will allow us to build more generally, so we'll keep that going. Well, also, we did pass free trade. I'd already done an RP statement about that, so that's fine, and that we've opened up and gotten rid of our mercantilistic policies. That means making trade imports and exports is a lot easier, so let's go ahead and see what we can do with that. Let's import wood from the Swedes. Let's import, we're building our own paper. Let's import groceries if we can. We cannot. Fabric if we can. From
Prussia, may I speak to you?
Hello there, who is this?
This is Switzerland.
Oh, Ambassador, welcome to Berlin. I am Queen Louise of Prussia. What can I do for you?
So, as Switzerland, we are a very peaceful and neutral nation, correct?
I would hope so. You do have a reputation for it.
Yes, and we have formed an organization to keep wars contained within Europe, so they don't get too out of hand.
Indeed.
Currently, we have 4 members. Swiss themselves, the United Kingdom, France, and Spain, and we would like Prussia to be the 5th member.
What exactly is the
will-
nature of this organization, if you don't mind? I mean, what would we be signing up to, so to speak?
It will limit your ability to declare wars on other European powers and other European nations.
If it's a recommendation, we'd be open to it. But if it's a hard, firm treaty, the Kingdom of Prussia will retain the right to take action if it chooses to do so.
It's not a hard, firm treaty. Switzerland does not have the power to.
Certainly not, but agreements like these are binding and can lead into other things. So we just want to ensure we understand what exactly, again, this organization is suggesting.
Yes. So the suggestion of the organization is that war should be a last-ditch effort after diplomacy fails, and that war should be contained between the European powers that started it. There should not be any world wars or a future Napoleonic wars. Correct.
I mean, if it's simply a
believe.
recommendation and a statement of purpose, we can agree to that. But we're not going to sign anything that would dictate, so to speak.
It's strictly a recommendation, like I said before.
Then,
Switzerland
if
does
that
not
was the
have the
case,
power
we would be interested in supporting that.
Right. Thank you, Prussia.
And thank
Take my
you.
leave now.
Yeah, so cooperative federalism we will go for because it makes sense. In the pre-RP we did a lot of RP that basically took power away from like a unitary system and it's much more dispersed. This would make sense. I'd prefer to do well footing first, but since we're about to get a civil war with this, we'll do it. Because that would be a part of the reforms we made at the start, so yeah. We'll do that. Alright, see if the British are free. Nope, but they never will, so I'm gonna hop in there.
Yeah, the
Hello
host
there.
distracted you too much. Anyway, yeah, I'd like my channel back now, please. The entire point.
I can't anymore. I'm just opening market. It didn't allow me to take a treaty port either.
All right.
Okay. Britain, you're able to stop colonizing it. Share a screen and I'll guide you through it.
Love of God.
They're busy. We'll come back. They're doing something. Okay. We're running a deficit still. I can live with that. We're not going to raise taxes to an exorbitant degree. We could put another tax, but I really want to pass these resolutions very quickly, so we'll wait. Still working on iron mines, and we're going to do the paper mills. We can probably stop here for now. We'll need more iron in the future, but this will do for now. Okay, given we're free trade, we can import a lot of what we need, but we want to build like high value things. So tools and glass will definitely one. Let's go ahead and build up. We'll do one explosives plant. We'll do one chemical plant. Actually, no, let's do that. Where we already have them built, we'll build one chemical plant in Westphalia. We will build. We'll do 3 glassworks in Brandenburg. We'll build, and then we'll build a bunch of, we'll need coal more than anything else actually. So we'll build 5 more coal plants. We'll build 7. No, we don't need to go overboard. We'll build 5. We'll build 2 more arms industries. Oh god, that really doesn't produce a lot. We can import what we need there actually. Then we need the tool workshops. Build another 5. And then at that point, we will be able to do groceries, which are important because they really increase your quality of life. Cool. And that'll do it. We will make more taxes and be able to do more expansion, but I want to pass our government reforms first. So we'll work on that primarily. To begin with, let's see if we can import or export anything. How much of a surplus of porcelain do we have? Liquor we can really fucking export. No one's really buying it. We'll give it to the Swedes. We'll give it to the Tuscans, I guess. I want to give it to places where it can go up, though, so we'll also send it to... Why do we have so much fucking liquor? And then we'll export a bit of hardware as well. No one needs it. Okay, never mind. It's a war? No, it doesn't look like it. We can stop it. You also have to stop child labor and do the law that makes school mandatory. Yes, we do. That is also part of the reforms. We have a mandatory education system now. Even work does not get around that. So, yes. Alrighty. See if the British are still busy. They are. Hello there. Is the British government busy?
We're experiencing a little craziness right now, but whatever business, I'll try my best.
We could come back at another time.
No, might as well just throw in a pile.
Very well.
What can I help you with?
We are here at the letter that was sent previously. The Kingdom of Prussia is interested in further cooperation with the United Kingdom. We obviously share blood, our families, extensively. I mean, much of Europe does, of course, but we have an especially close family connection. And given our cooperation in the last couple decades, we wanted to pursue closer economic ties. Given that we've removed our mercantilist policies and opened up for free trade, we wish to seek closer economic ties with the United Kingdom and see if the British monarchy and state would be interested.
Yes, we're very much interested in expanding the market of the Empire by any means necessary.
It's good to hear. In that case, I will warn you though, if you trade with us, we do currently have a law that provides free, no tariff trading within Germanic states, besides Austria, as they have not signed it. So if you export to us, we do want to make you aware of that, so you are not caught off guard.
That is acceptable. We always appreciate more free trade.
Good.
And it is our belief that peace shall be established on Earth when everybody is allowed to trade with each other equally.
That is also very good to hear. In that case, signing perhaps of a free trade agreement then, and
yes, we have written it up and I've sent it to you now.
Very well. In that case, we also would like to spend a little bit of time visiting our extended family here and with the royal family before heading home, and look forward to future cooperation.
Yes, and have the Queen Victoria, long live the Queen. We'll be happy to meet you.
Wonderful.
And be sure to tell her stories of her father. She misses him
absolutely. Greatly. Yeah. Of course, we will do so. Well, it was good speaking with you.
It's good speaking with you.
He's very stressed. He's playing the United Kingdom. I don't blame him, so believe him. You can always hear that like stress in like the British player's voice every time in Vicky 3, I swear. Okay. Economy is not really growing that quickly, but that's fine. We're doing the basic stuff. Paper mines, chemical plants, glass, coal, tools, and groceries. When we're done with that, we're going to be in pretty good shape economically. We've got free trade with the British now, so let's see if maybe we can import some stuff from cheap off of them. Not as much as I would like. From the Egyptians. Grain from the Russians. Furniture from the Hanoverians. And more wood from the Greeks. Groceries. And then paper we're going to make ourselves, so we're fine. We have a lot of influence, so let's go ahead. We'll improve relations with the Austrians. We'll improve relations... Oh, maybe not with the French. I don't know. They were pretty hostile to us. We'll improve relations with the British. With the Ottomans. With the Egyptians, because we're trading with them. And we'll hold it there. Austria's improving relations too. Good. Silesia needs more government offices. We can barely fucking tax them. That's about right. Please don't stop child labor and build mental institutions instead. Why would we do that, bruh? Why on earth would we do that? My voice mod got a massive bug and I'm just sitting here trying to pick between horrible my quality, horrible my quality. Have you considered not using a voice mod? Note. That's always an option. Oh boy. Duchy of Brunswick had an uprising. Constitutional Duchy. It's a domestic German issue. We're gonna stay out of it. We're getting close.
Again.
Hello.
Hello. After some discussions amongst the council, we wanted to have further discussions regarding the trade statement you made.
Of course.
Out of RP, for us, is that just a trade agreement between our nations?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking
Out of RP,
for?
I obviously can't make trade agreements with all the German states as an RP thing, but it would apply to Austria as like a state. So if you want to do free trade, that would make sense. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Cool. Yes, we had some discussions internally, and a main concern that has been brought up within the council and the Kaiser himself is Austria, whilst definitely a unified nation, is not a unified ethno-state. We do have a personal union with the Hungarian kingdom, and despite having them securely within our unified nation, there are some growing concerns that a trade agreement between us may negatively affect their trade goods. Do we have some assurances that, whilst they remain under the protection of the Austrian Empire, that they will be granted the same treatments as Germans do?
Given that the Austrian Empire contains Germanic states, we would have free trading with your country as a whole. And as such, the Hungarians, as a part of your empire's system, would be included in that as your nation. They would be afforded no special tariffs if goods were coming from those localities. And if anything, it would bring them higher quality of life and increase trade, as again, I'm sure there would be many markets within Germany that would be happy to buy those goods. Again, we apply this to your country since you are ruled by Austria. I mean, this is, if we're going to be frank, you are ruled by Germanic people. Although you may have others who are not Germans, they are still in your state. And as long as that remains the same situation will be applied. However, if they ever become independent, that would not be the case. But I assume that Austria has no intentions of doing that.
No, of course not. That is not in any form of way a future we are looking towards. However, we are pleased to hear that we can go back to the Hungarian local ministers and assure them that they will be afforded the same rights as they are part of our nation. So that is great to hear, and I'm very thankful for that clarification. In that case, we are willing to go ahead with this, as long as... Okay, out of RP again. I need to wait for the relations to go up, but then I'll send you it once it's done.
Sounds good to me. Very well. We are happy to see our Germanic brothers and sisters within Austria being willing to cooperate. As again, the German people need to become stronger. There are many states throughout Europe that are united based on their ethnicity and their peoples, and we are not. And that is fine, but we must certainly look after one another. So we're glad to hear that you are willing to enter this agreement with us.
No, absolutely. I see a bright future ahead for both of our nations.
As do I.
Thank you for your time.
Ambassador. Damn, the Austrians are going to join it. That's surprising. The good kind, though. We lost a lot of authority going federalist, but that's fine. Regionalism. No. Okay, we'll go for... What am I looking for? Now we go for suffrage. We're not going to give everyone the right to vote, but we would give a lot of people. Would this be this one? Literate men of a particular status are given the right to vote. No, it wouldn't be this one. It'd be wealth voting, because it's still the elite that we did. But we can't. We'll go land in voting, since the suffrage doesn't make sense yet. So we'll go with that one. That's unfortunate. I wanted to do wealth voting because the system I RP'd out was such that like wealthy like industrialists would have a lot of power in there too. But that's fine. You guys can select other colors yourself though, right? What do you mean other colors, Dinarka? Water to boiler. We also need to build up the university in Prussia. Not that we have the income for it right now, but that is on our to-do list because well, the government was promising to do that. Exports from porcelain to Spain and then to Russia. Going to Empire's attempt to take back control of the Wamp of Egypt has become an international incident. Our involvement may tip the balance of power in the region. One thing I didn't really consider yet is our stance on the Ottomans. I mean, we're not a colonial power right now. We're certainly not a regional power, but at the same time, we wouldn't really power project into places like that, I don't think. So I think we'll probably just stay out of it for the most part, but we'll declare the interest just in case we need to. The Ottomans might be a good trading partner, though, especially if they take back more like their borders and take back like the fabric of the cheap cotton that Muhammad Ali has grown in Egypt, because we could use that to build a really profitable textile industry in Prussia if we got a free trade agreement, given that we're now free trade. What's the officer commission law? It's basically how you do officer commissions. We'll need to reform that too. I know we already have it, sorry. Professional commissions, so it's basically chosen on a meritocratic system versus purchase commissions, which is basically for like wealth attributing officers, or aristocratic, which is only like the military, like the landowners and elites have access to becoming officers in the army. So professional commissions is what we have RP-wise, so it makes sense. We'll keep that. Uh-oh. Someone desynced. Nice. Really want to export this liquor. We're out of convoys though, so that's not really an option anyway. I think it's because of the subsistence farming. That'll go away over time. We do have a good bit of debt now. We do have a standing military, but we could go ahead and reduce it a little bit to cut some costs here. I don't think it fits. Yeah, there we go. We're running a surplus. We're not at war. We have an RP system where we do have a large standing army, but it's not like our whole fucking country like this, so we can go down a bit on it. Especially since we need to make up our deficit. Just note what they're complaining they have similar colors. Ah, well, yeah. Is this a Bismarck stream? No, it's not, Jonas, bro. This is gonna be a very different timeline. I may have Bismarck show up later on in the RP, but we're already out history, so it will be done very differently. Because I don't believe he's politically power at this point. He's not politically influential. I mean, I thought it was a bit later for Bismarck. He didn't come into power until like another decade or two, I thought. No, not for quite some time. He is currently 23 years old. As an aristocrat from a noble household, a Junker family, he would have actually not a lot of power in government. He'd be probably in government. He'd probably be in our General Assembly right now, but he's still very young, so he's not a political player yet. Export ammunition, that's true. Definitely could do that. The French and the British. We are really gonna need more convoys. Oh, someone else desynced. Uh-oh. Can we afford this? Let's see if we can afford this increased construction speed. Yeah, we can. Nice. Cool. Because we also have a much bigger investment pool now. Or we should. We are getting a bigger investment pool because of dual federalism, but yeah, there we go. That's better. It's not too extreme. Yeah, a lot of our stuff can expand. All right, we'll actually need to build up more docks. So we are going to become like a free trade export economy, but we'll need to wait on this. I always like to build up the baseline on the industries before I really start to push like export stuff. In terms of valuable exports, what do we really want to push? Like, we got an open trade deal with the British, and we will have one with the Austrians. Let's look at their market, see what they need. Nothing too bad. Wood, clothes, furniture. We could build up like a giant clothing industry in Prussia. I believe that actually happened historically. Luxury clothing especially would be a good idea. For the British, they're not in our market. That's not true. There we go. In terms of what the Austrians need, they need a lot of wood as well. Russia will be supplying that though. Silk, dyes, small arms, paper, fabric. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so I think we're going to build up a textile industry, and then we're going to just make it like primarily luxury clothing and export that to Europe. Proponents of blended voting reforms have called attention to past abuses of power by the current regime as a reason for why this change is urgently needed. That is historically accurate, yes. Cool. Does feel kind of slow. What will landed voting actually do? We're autocratic, more authority, enactment time increase, legitimacy. Authority will go down by 100, which sucks. We'll get more governance allowance, more legitimacy, and more political power from the league. That's about right. Uruguay? Yeah, I know. You're playing Uruguay, right? What the? Still need tools, still need iron. See if there's anyone we can just export to with cross borders, like the Belgians. Yeah, we don't need convoys for that. Maybe some meats to the Russians? No, the Austrians. That'll go up even more when we get free trade with them too. Nope, don't have a surplus of anything else, so that'll be fine. We have a surplus of 178 hardwood. That means we can go ahead and do that. Give us more wood. Germany had a big textile industry IRL during World War I believe. Yes, they absolutely did. I remember watching a doc that said they, even when they were cut off from a lot of trade, it barely put a dent in them financially because they were self-sustaining. Yeah, they were not isolationist, but like they were able to produce most of what they needed domestically, and they did have a huge textile industry. I believe they exported it massively to Europe as well. The water tube boiler, we'll go for mechanized workshops next, so we can actually build up that clothing industry, textiles. And we just got, what did we do tech-wise? We got canneries, then we got water tube boilers. If we get more coal, we can do this.
Greetings, Queen Louise.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
As you may or may not have noticed, there's Spanish. I'm the Dutch East Indies, and there's Spanish interference in the Indonesia region by their support of Lang Fang and such. Now, of course, I and the Netherlands can't hope to oppose the Spanish interference in the region, and as to secure a status quo, we would like to have the backing of a defensive backing of Prussia.
Well, what are you offering in exchange for this? As we do have no prior arrangements at this present time.
in exchange for preferential access to colonial goods such as dye and sugar, and tobacco and coffee.
We would be willing to provide a defensive agreement to the Netherlands and the Dutch East Indies in exchange for two things. One would be a free trade agreement with your country, and in addition, preferred trading status with Prussian markets for colonial goods that are produced in the Netherlands. In exchange, we would give you the protection of the Prussian kingdom and be even willing to build up our navy further to give you even more access abroad.
I can't agree to those terms on my overlord's behalf. I think we could join a conference in Amsterdam, or
that would be wonderful to me. I'd be happy to get my carriage. It's not too far of a way to what's it called? What's your capital? Amsterdam. I've not been there since my youth, so I'd be happy to accompany you.
Okay, let's go to Amsterdam then.
If I can find the VC. Hello there.
Oh. So the Prussia's offer is a defensive pact in exchange for a free trade agreement and preferential trade colonial goods.
Well, that sounds good to me. Personally, that sounds quite good.
Oh yes, we'd be happy to cooperate with you. I mean, we already trade a little bit, but the Netherlands has plenty of goods. Prussia no longer has the mercantilist policies that once held us back, and with our reforms, we think that economic cooperation would be fruitful. And in addition to that, we'd be happy to give you our protection. We would not want such a close ally and financial interest and partner to be aggressed upon. So we'd be open to that if you are.
Well, we're very grateful for this. We've sent diplomats over to Paris and London, but we appear to have been snubbed. So we're
that is where
very
the Kingdom of
thankful
Prussia
for
kind of
you.
has a bit of a special status. Our armies are such that we can, in some ways, as you've seen in the past, contend great powers, but we are not seen as one either. So we will never not have the time for such important countries as the Netherlands.
Hello.
Well,
Okay.
oh hello. Well, we're very grateful that we could come to this agreement. I'd gladly accept it.
Beautiful. In that case,
yeah.
out of RP, defensive agreement, and then a free trade agreement, right?
Yep. That is perfect.
I'll have to improve relations
okay.
with you, but that should be pretty quick here.
Yeah, good.
Beautiful. And one last thing, just to make sure. I mean, I assume it would never have crossed your mind, but I do want to clarify that the Dutch obviously respect the sovereignty of the Germanic peoples and would never intend to take action upon a Germanic state, whether it be minor or greater alike.
Oh, yes, certainly. The Netherlands has very little interest in Europe other than to foster alliances with other powers. Ever since the tearing of our country from in two with Brussels,
Of course.
now being considered an independent nation.
We even have Germanic roots. If you
Oh, we are well aware. I mean, we would not see you as part of like what we now consider to be the modern Germanic peoples, but you are very close cousins, most certainly.
Well, we're glad to hear that. We are glad to we consider you cousins as well ourselves here in the Netherlands.
That's good to hear.
And we're glad to be able. We hope we can help you in any way that you may need in the future.
Of course, that is very good to hear. One other matter I would like to discuss with you, since I'm here, is the issue of colonialism. As you know, the Kingdom of Prussia is an up-and-coming state, and there has been much debate in the General Assembly, overseen by the King, of course, and myself, discussing whether or not Prussia wishes to go after any colonial territories abroad. We've already seen the wealth and power it's brought the other European powers, and given we do plan to build up our navy in the future, we wish to ask the Dutch, frankly, now that we are on closer terms, if it is profitable enough in the modern context. We would never, of course, aggress upon your regions, but in the more general sense, what is your opinion as an esteemed ruler of a colonial nation? Is it something worth pursuing in this age?
Well, I'd say it's definitely worth worth pursuing. As you may know, the Netherlands, not quite as bad, not quite as bad for you, but we lack in certain resources such as iron quite heavily, and by colonizing further areas across the world, we're able to gain these resources for our market, meaning that we don't need to import them at a higher cost than what we could possibly produce ourselves.
course.
So the colonies in the East Indies are vastly profitable, especially now that we've abolished slavery. So yes, I would definitely suggest to you that you get some of your colonies for your own nation. It would be highly profitable.
Are there any regions you would recommend? I mean, obviously we know you have extensive colonies in the east, and we don't want to contend those, but we have obviously maps of the world. We've surveyed it. We know what other powers do, but it's not the same as having a history of trading in these regions or having been around them. I mean, would the Dutch recommend any specific area that the Prussian people, the Germanic people, may find suitable for colonization, for both our temperament, our environmental preference, or just general profitability?
Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on what you're looking for. Like resource-wise, West Africa is an incredibly profitable region. However, it's also a very busy one, and so if you're wanting to get in the game a bit earlier, West Africa would probably be a good choice. If you're wanting to get into the colonization game, maybe give it a bit of time before you do. A bit further down into the central, maybe even southern regions might be a bit more well advised. However, Portugal may have some diplomatic issues. I am aware that they have laid claim to a strip between their two already fully managed African colonies. So,
of course,
yes, but for the most part, I would say profitability. West Africa is one of the best regions you could go for.
Certainly. Well, we'll take that under advisement. As I said, there still needs to be a debate in Parliament, the General Assembly, and we still may not pursue any colonial matters. But I just simply wish your own opinion, as you are certainly the man to know of such things, and I hope we can expect honesty from you.
Oh, you can certainly expect honesty.
The Dutch East Indies has some insider information that the Kingdom of Siam wishes to be liberated from the yoke of the Chinese Empire.
They are a tributary, most certainly. The Chinese, yeah. We've traded with them almost not at all up until now. We know that they are a great empire, but a stagnant one. Is that not true?
Yes. And if you wish to civilize a bit of and secure colonial properties in Indochina, then I think the Kingdom of Siam would be grateful.
That is most interesting indeed. We had never heard nothing of this. Perhaps I will need to send some letters then. That is an interesting prospect you bring up.
Well, I can certainly vow for the idea that if your first colony is being set up, I suppose a good way of going about it is to get loyal local allies within the region. So if you were able to, say, liberate Siam and get their undying loyalty to your nation, it would be a good way to begin your colonial aspirations, if you were to vote in favor of that.
Of course.
Of course.
Very well. In that case, I'm going to return home to Berlin and discuss it with the ministers, my husband, and the General Assembly. I do thank the Dutch for their advice, and we'll take that under serious consideration. And we look forward to a fruitful partnership with the Dutch. As we said before, you're cousins of ours, and family needs to look after one another.
It certainly does. We thank you for your friendship that we've been able to foster here, and we hope to see you in future endeavors.
And you as well.
Hope you well wishes.
Okay, so we're going to do one of these games. Everyone watching and in chat is going to be the General Assembly of Prussia. And you are all either military officers in the Prussian military, Junkers who control land, or aristocratic families, or you're simply very intelligent industrialists or prominent philosophers or leading minds in the Prussian government. And as such, you have a vote in the General Assembly. So, a lot of big decisions I'm going to do polls for. So, you all get to decide. Now, the current topic on the floor in the General Assembly will pertain to the possibilities of colonialism. Queen Louise gave a speech on the General Assembly floor describing what you just heard with the Dutch, that there is much land out there, and it is the duty of the Prussian people to seize their destiny. On the other side, though, there are many of the old aristocrats, the landowners who control great tracts of basic subsistence farming, those who have had serfdom taken away from them, who suggest that such pursuits are of no value and waste the money, time, and energy of the Prussian state. However, you will get to decide. So, the first poll is, do we pursue colonialism? Flash poll, you have 1 minute to vote. You're a military officer, hell yeah. Victorian communist. Oh boy. But yeah, your call. If we do vote yes, we're going to, I'm going to do something a little spicy. I have a spicy idea we'll pursue. Given some of the things that just happened, I think there's something we could do. But if not, we'll focus on domestic industry and leave colonialism to the other European powers. Right, coal mines to workshops, food industries, and then the railways. And then at that point, we're going to start to produce goods for export, which I think will be probably textiles. Persia? That's the Qajar Empire. They were the Qajars. No one called them Persia in this time period except Europeans. They were the Qajars. That's the ruling family. Your aristocrat Friedrich Hohenstaufen. Very nice. Okay. When we can afford it, we're also going to need to go for the poor laws, because the Queen was a very big fan of that. Yes, okay, overwhelmingly. So the General Assembly has voted, and we will pursue colonial matters. That means we're going to do something interesting. Hello there. This is a visit from Queen Louise of Prussia and her husband Friedrich Wilhelm III, traveling to Vienna to speak personally with the Kaiser of Austria.
Hello. It is a pleasure to host you in Vienna.
It's good
I
to
hope
speak
you
with
have enjoyed the tour of the city that we gave you.
Oh, it is. Vienna is truly the heights of the things the German people can build when they put their mind to it. It is truly a service to our people. It is beautiful to see.
Indeed. Apologies if you see people coming in and out and bothering people in my office. Do not fret. There's a slight situation going on in Saxony. I'm needing to dispatch a small force to quell a small rebellion.
We've heard about that. We've been staying out of it. We do have a policy of staying out of domestic affairs of Germanic states, but we don't expect the same for you, so that's understandable. Do you mind if you close the door, though? This is a conversation I would not like to be frankly heard.
Of course, yes. I shall. I'll close that right now for you.
Very well. We have had some very interesting recent political talks and conversations. I know the relationship between our two peoples is only just getting back onto level terms, but it is my opinion, and my husband is full in agreement, I assure you, that we need to pursue close relations with German peoples, like the Austrians. There is much out there on the world besides our own domestic issues that could bring prosperity and progress. Hold on, I'm about to get a revolution. Why? I'm not doing regionalism. I may have to fight the rule, folk. That's fine. Okay. We had a very interesting conversation with the Dutch, who we now are going to be cooperating with in a defensive capacity, regarding the future of colonialism. There was a vote in my General Assembly recently, back home in Prussia, where the leaders, the leading minds of the Prussian kingdom, feel as though the colonial path is one Prussia should be pursuing. And we were told of a situation in Siam, wherein the people of Siam are looking to get out of the constraints of the Empire of the Qing, the Chinese state. We wish to discuss with Austria about, and I know this is pretty extreme, but the proposition of a joint action, wherein Austria and Prussia together, as representing the Germanic peoples, were to make a foray into the Qing, a show of force, the sinking of their navies, and potentially the sieging out of their capital city. In doing so, freeing the Kingdom of Siam and putting them under the influence of the Prussians, but in exchange allowing for both the Austrians and the Prussians to control very wealthy trading ports within the Qing. That market is one that even the many European powers have failed to get to. Now, that being said, the Qing, despite their stagnant nature, are very strong, and this would be potentially a costly war. It's a big proposal, I know, but we feel as though the rewards would be beneficial to the German people.
This is a very interesting proposition, and one that I am glad you came and spoke to me about privately.
Of course.
This sounds very lucrative. We've seen the heights that Portugal have come to due to their access to the Qing market, and we've had many traders ask for Austria to kind of take control of the situation and gain access to the great wealth that is from that nation.
Certainly.
Frankly, too long we've been held by the Ottoman state as they have tried to block trade and control all wealth from the
we can
the Silk
circumnavigate
Road.
it entirely.
Yes, exactly. I think this sounds like a very lucrative opportunity. I do believe that both our nations will need to grow our naval power in order to
Certainly.
make landfall. However, the state of the Qing Empire, I think that wouldn't be too difficult, especially with our joint combined fleets. I believe that's something we could accomplish.
We fully agree. I mean, both of us, if we were to try it alone, I think would suffer a hearty defeat. But combined, the German peoples working together, now that is something that I don't think the Qing or many countries would be able to defeat.
I agree, but we do have to consider that an alliance like this will scare the other European powers. Central Europe hegemony between both of our nations, especially a German unified front, will definitely call
let's
upon
make this clear.
France.
This isn't a unified front. This will come with no alliances or defensive pacts. I mean, in that capacity, to be frank, we're not interested in. Perhaps.
True. But from their perspective, that's what they will think. That is all I'm saying.
We could portray it in another light. Again, no one knows of this talk. No one knows of this conversation. I am simply on a visit here, formally, technically, to meet with extended family, of which I have many in Vienna. Perhaps we were to portray it a little bit differently. If Prussia was to, for example, champion the cause of Siam and make it clear we want to get into the colonial game, many Europeans would not bat an eye. But if the Austrians were to make it clear that they were worried about another Germanic state potentially getting colonial power and them not doing so, you could portray it almost as you forcing us to let you cooperate and to take territory of your own.
Now, that is something that would definitely ease the tensions within Europe, I think.
I can put on a pretty good show of being quite angry with the Austrian Empire, I can assure you.
Indeed, and we're very good at putting our boot on boats if need be. So I think this will work out very well.
Wonderful. In that case, I think that we will send an ambassador to Siam, engage the interest of that kingdom in getting independence, and from there, we'll let you know if we will pursue this war. As soon as it happens, make it clear that Austria is forcing our hand, so to speak, and will be joining this war next to us in order to get claims of their own.
Indeed. Very well. Thank you again for this opportunity. I do appreciate it.
Of course. We always have to look after our German family, so...
Indeed. And enjoy your time in Vienna, of course.
We will. Farewell.
Farewell.
Siam, I think, is a player. Let me find him.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. Who am I speaking to?
Any way you could turn your mic up a little bit?
Oh, sure. Better now?
Yes, thank you. Greetings. I am an ambassador sent here to the capital of Siam in Bangkok to speak with your king, if that would be possible.
The great king has unfortunately gotten a stroke. I am the head of the current council of nobles.
Oh, wonderful. A noble to speak with. That is wonderful. Well, thank
yes,
you for receiving me here in Bangkok. Would you mind if I take some of your time to give you an offer I think you'd be very interested in?
An offer I would relay to the king, of course, when he recovers.
Of course, yes.
Of course, speak your mind, sir.
I am here at the behest of my queen, the Queen of Prussia, as well as the king, to speak with you regarding the Qing. We have heard from friends of ours that the Kingdom of Siam is discontent with the current state of things, where the Qing have you as a tributary, where you have no political authority of your own.
Indeed, it is quite worrying that such a people as the Qing think they can hold down the people of Siam. Currently, we are looking, well, we were attempting to modernize a bit, but the Qing don't have the resources for us to do so. So we were looking for more Western-orientated markets.
Well, that is exactly why I have come here. I have an offer from my queen, if you would hear it.
Of course, of course. Do understand that I am only a small part of the Council of Noble, so any actions or promises made now shall only be enacted on much later.
I understand. Regardless, my queen's proposal is this. In exchange for the Prussian kingdom championing your cause and pushing a movement to get your freedom from the Qing, we would be able to champion your political independence, after which we would have no interest in having any direct control over you. But we would be very interested in having you join the Prussian markets and utilize Prussian currency, as well as have access to our goods and us yours in turn, as Siam has many goods of which the Prussian economy could benefit from.
Yes, and well, of course, we are always looking for a market to sell to. Out of roleplay, custom unions, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, it'd just be a custom union, that's it.
Okay, yeah. Well, before my king had his unfortunate stroke, he was very interested in such things. However, you have considered the great obstacle in the way then?
Most certainly. And you'll forgive me if I won't go into details, but we do have a plan to deal with it.
Currently, our military, I should say, is a bit underfunded to speed up the modernization of our country.
We'd be happy to send Prussian officers to be able to help modernize and implement the systems we've recently done in Prussia. In addition to that, I can assure you that there will be around, almost 400 battalions that could be potentially deployed in this war. Again, I won't go into the details, but just to assure you that there is a force willing to take action here. We are going to be in the process of modernizing our navy in the next year, and once we have a navy fitting to be able to launch a naval invasion, we would be interested in engaging in this action, if you are agreeable, of course.
Yes, this is more something perhaps for later discussions, but would the Prussians, you said, a European nation, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Would they be interested in helping Siam maintain its legitimate position on this peninsula here? For it is our peninsula, after all.
You speak of expansion.
I speak of
We would be very
reclaiming
interested in
ours.
supporting that. However, with that would need to come the assumption that obviously, if you're joining our market and our system, there would be no renegotiations of that later. If that is agreeable, then we'd be happy to help you through modernizing your military with Prussian officers, through access to German-made modern equipment, and through cooperation with our own military forces. We'd be willing to help that happen.
Sounds very agreeable, yes, of course. Nobody knows what the future holds, but as I speak to you now, sir, the Prussians sound like a reasonable people. Willing to
We like to
respect
think so. We're very
enormous
practical in that capacity. We have not done much outside of Europe before, and this will be our first foray. And as such, we want it to be really a chance to show the world that we're going to do things a little bit differently internationally. The British, the French, the Spanish, they have a history of very Machiavellian and aggressive take on interests outside of Europe. And although we will always represent our interests, we will be, I think, a little bit more reasonable.
But as you say, later on, your interests are my interest, and my interests are your interest, at least on economical matters. So I foresee we will fight for the same cause.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very well. Is there anything else you wish to discuss? Would you like to take time to discuss
out
it
of
with your
RP.
ministers?
Out of RP, when is the rehost?
That will be in 23 minutes.
Okay, thanks. No, that was all.
Okay. Yep. Very well. Will you send a letter to let us know your answer?
Yes, of course. I will send you a letter.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
Have a good day, my sir.
We've been invited to Paris to speak with the French. Save Europe and the growing tide of liberalism throughout the world. Alright, very well. Okay, we can take a trip to the French. Let me just finish up our economic stuff here. Okay, so we'll wait till we hear back from them. We're going to need to build up our navy. And then once we're ready, we're going to go ahead and fight a war with the Qing. It'll be rough, but it is very doable. Okay, where's France? Nope, sorry, wrong channel. Hello, is the French king here?
One moment. Yes, the French king is here. The French king just died while writing a letter to your queen, and I'm now writing out what's happening.
Very well.
Just give me like a minute or two, real quick.
Just come hop my channel when you're ready. Just let me know.
Sounds good.
Okay, we got a minute. Is China a player? No, China is the AI of this game, which is why I don't mind doing something like this. Doesn't Austria have ancient claims on Naples and southern Italy? Technically, yes. So does the French, the Spanish, and half of Europe. But yes, they do. More convoys. Need more taxation. Need to build those railways. Let's see if we can export more of this liquor. Yeah, no, we will not. It's not profitable. Hold on, cancel that. Oh, nice, Susie. Very true. Poor Milan, poor Naples. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They have a long history of that. Graveyard of empires. Italy is definitely a battleground country, that's for sure. No other way to put that. There we go. We have an excess of capital. Quite a lot, actually. So we're going to go ahead and build up a bunch more construction facilities. I want to really expedite industrialization in Prussia here. Would we make any other reforms at this point? Most likely not. Like I said, we will do poor laws when we can, but we're not there quite yet. Alright, so it looks like we are most likely going to begin a colonial enterprise in Siam and the Qing. Let's also declare an interest in West Africa. We'll take it out of the Balkans, and we'll put it in Western Africa. Child labor laws. That is true, but we're actually unable to change them. We need the support of the petite bourgeoisie, which I don't think we can get in government, but I can give it a shot. We could, actually. There is a coalition government we could currently make with the petty bourgeoisie and the intelligentsia. What about... Yeah, okay, we'll bring the armed forces in too. No, we can't. Because they're in different parties. God damn it. Free-minded People's Party. We'll go for this. It's not too far away from what we would be realistically as well. We still can't do it. We need the labor movement. Wow, okay. That's... makes sense, I suppose. Ready. Almost there. No, we do need to attack USA. Man is completely right. Let's go ahead and remove one of our tariffs. No, let's wait till we can finish all these new construction sectors to make sure we can actually afford this. We really can. God damn. When did our economy go up? Our taxation go up like that? Our economy is not growing as quick as I would like, but we are building like the baseline goods like iron and stuff, so it will take a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 5 is 10. We need 20 more. We're just gonna max out the Pomeranian port. It's just gonna become our naval fucking hub. We'll do that. Is there a mod you guys are using to get reforms so quickly? We have a mod on. It doesn't innately make reforms quicker, but it does include a lot of flavor mods that changes around the politics of certain countries that makes it so there's more support for laws that will make them go quicker. So in that way there is. It just really drastically changes the political system in a lot of ways. Some will be easier to change, some will not.
Greetings, Germany. It's or Prussia. Sorry, it's France. How you doing?
Hello there. I've traveled here to Paris as you requested. What is it you wish to discuss?
Well, my father originally on his death, or my father died writing his last words were actually to Queen Louise of Prussia, as he invited her to enjoy the culture in Paris and to discuss the state of Europe. I, King Ferdinand Philippe, I now invite you to my coronation to witness my coronation.
We're happy to be here for it. Of course.
Well, while we're here, I would just like to renew my father's relationship with your country and understanding that the Congress of Vienna is to still be maintained. I understand that there's people who are talking about perhaps moving the Congress of Vienna to a more neutral location, and we have voiced our support for that. I believe Spain, Great Britain, and myself have all been in favor, and Belgium have been in favor of moving to a perhaps more neutral territory like Switzerland or elsewhere. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we also supported something along those lines.
It is of no grave concern to us, and we would have no issue if the location was moved.
We just think that having a neutral location would help, or having it in Vienna it legitimizes the Austrian Empire in many ways that we do not think is just. So
I mean, although they are certainly an adversary in many ways, they are a Germanic state as well. And I mean, recognition of their empire is important. I hope you're not suggesting otherwise. As I said, they're not close friends or anything, but I hope you're not disparaging another German people.
No, of course not. We just like I said, we just maintain that a more neutral location like Switzerland, where all of our cultures of Europe meet in one place, would be just more beneficial to the whole purpose of the Congress, which is to discuss things on the world stage. But enough of that topic. I would just like to congratulate Prussia on its continuing reforms, and the king sees the growing trend of republicanism and liberalism across Europe as a growing trend, as a very dangerous ordeal. And we would just invite you to share in that fear of growing liberalism.
We're, I think, a little bit more of a complicated stance on this issue. As I'm sure you know well, the reforms in recent decades, of which me and my husband were happy to play a part, were very important. But we are not radicals. I mean, we supported a top-down reform system, where in the aristocracy, the government, the industrialists, and other people reformed a broken system and created some new systems that are not so authoritarian as Europe used to be. That being said, the more radicalist elements, such as the anarchists, the trade unionists, and things like that, of course, we agree are certainly a danger to Europe, and one that we are growing very wary of.
Well, I understand you have to make concessions. We as well. I plan on expanding my enfranchisement, so we definitely understand having to make some adjustments. And we actually agree with your ideology of a more top-down approach to granting freedoms to the people instead of a rebellion or insurgency from beneath in the lower classes. So
rebellious activities in order to promote these values is something we can, of course, never support. So, of course,
we agree. Well, that's comforting to hear that we have similar outlooks on the growth of liberalism throughout the world.
While we are here, I would like a clarification. Your father, in one of the letters he exchanged with me before his passing, which again I'm sorry to hear about, was that we wish for clarification on something he said. There was in that letter I suppose, a suggestion in there, as though the French people, who are non-Germanic, have any say over German affairs. And we just like some clarification. I'm sure if you've read his letter.
Yes, we've read his letter. So, my father's main point, and the point of the French Foreign Ministry, is essentially not to impede on what you do with the German people. We believe that's part of your sphere of influence, and that it's not something for us to mess around with. However, we're merely stating that should it become a problem on the world stage, that other countries see the expansion of Prussia or the integration of other Germanic states as a problem, that we would support you in that endeavor diplomatically and come onto your side and defend Prussia should you enact a federal system. That is all we were saying. You can do and rule however you want, and we encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. However, if you have a federal system, we view it as and ensure the authority of those aristocracy in the individual German states, that we can justify to our people and to our nobles supporting you in that cause. I hope that makes sense.
In that case, we have no issue. As I'm sure you're aware, we have already enacted a federal system for Prussia. We have an open invitation for any Germanic state to join the Kingdom of Prussia, but we have a hard, fast rule that we will never pressure any state to do so. We do have the reforms we made, which obviously dictate that that any aristocrat from a foreign German state that owns territory in Prussia must get rid of serfdom on any territories they control, even if they're outside of our kingdom. If they don't wish to, they would be they'd be welcome to sell those territories in Prussia to someone else for a very reasonable fee. But that's the only major thing you may have issue with. But we stand firm on the dissolution of serfdom to the German people, as it does our proud people a disservice to allow for such things.
Understandable. Well, I'm glad that we cleared up any confusion. I assure you, our diplomats and my father were not in any way suggesting a say in how the German Confederation proceed. I would like just one last topic before we break this meeting. Recently, Napoleon tried to raise men in the south of France, and we are still unsure of his current location, as he fled with some troops, soldiers, and family members. If you find any information about his whereabouts, we would be greatly appreciative that you can inform us. We have currently banned the...
Napoleon III?
Louis Napoleon, yes. Napoleon III, as he calls himself. He is an illegitimate... He has tried to enact a coup. We have certain intelligence that we would like to keep private with you only, is that we believe that the death of my father may have somehow be related to assassins hired by this man calling himself Napoleon III. So if there's any sort of information that the Prussian kingdom comes in contact with, please pass this along to us for the good of all Europe. I think we can all agree that a Bonapartist uprising is not something that we should see again. So,
no, we certainly do not wish to see the Napoleons ever return to France. I myself spoke with the original, and I mean, he was a monster, so certainly we have no desire for that. If we find any information,
his nephew is no
we'll
different.
let you know. I'm sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this conversation, and I'm glad that we were able to clarify any issues. Please know that you can approach me with any issues, and I am more than willing to be reasonable and helpful in any way I can.
That's good to hear. It was great speaking with you. We'll stay for the coronation and then return home to Berlin.
Thank you. I hope you have a good time in Paris and enjoy the beautiful sites and parks that we've built since in recent years.
Of course. Very well. Well, I must say a friendly France is quite surprising, but not an unpleasant one. Again, I don't plan to do really any European expansion outside of the German states in Europe this game, so I mean, if we can just have like a lukewarm neutral relations with France, fine by me. The industrialists find the high price of steel and the capital of impediment to our ambitions, and would like us to prioritize importing it. They want us to import some steel. We can import a little bit of steel. We'll import a bit from the French. We're building more steel plants of our own, but we need to complete this little mission, so. Otherwise, the industrialists will get pissed. Prussia has a nice color in this game. Yes, it does. It's a very nice color. It's not that disgusting yellow one. You need a lot of iron. Yes, we do. Yes, we fucking do. Austria has a good amount of it. We'll import more of that. That'll solve a good chunk of our deficit. The economy's not growing like I would like right now, but that's to be expected. Need a lot more coal, too. Can we import more coal? No, not really. Alright, then we'll build all the naval bases, and then at that point we're going to talk to the Austrians about the invasion of the Qing. We're also going to need to build up more shipbuilding to take care of that, because I don't think we have nearly enough. Let's look. We have none, so no, we certainly don't. No, we have none at all. Okay, we'll need to build probably, I'd say, we'll build 4 to be safe. Colonizing the Niger Delta, let's also do the same. I completely forgot about. Can we not establish colonies? No, because we don't probably have colonialism, do we? No, we do. Why the fuck can't we colonize? We don't have quinine. God damn, but we need quinine. 26 months. We'll do that when we're done with the Bessemer Press. Damn. Alright, I guess we just build more construction sectors.
Greetings. Am I interrupting anything?
You are not. Welcome to Berlin. Who is this?
This is the ambassador from the Kingdom of Belgium. I'm humble to. I'm thankful to come to Berlin. It looks very beautiful. I love what you are doing over here.
Thank you. The German people are industrious, and what we have built is a reflection of that. But what is the ambassador from Belgium doing here?
Yes, I see we have an increased amount of trade. Particularly, we love your sulfur, and your people love our luxurious furniture. We wish to be as industrious as yours, even if we are for our very young nation. So I would like to ask to formally propose a trade agreement between our two great nations.
We would be open to this. We would have to ask about what your current relationship is with the Dutch, though, as they're good friends of ours.
I see. Well, I have no interest in fighting the Dutch in any way, and I have spoken a little bit with them, and all in all, to me, I see no hostilities. I do not wish for any hostilities, though I will. Between you and me, Ambassador, I should not say this, but I am of a neutral power, and whatever nations wish to tell me, I can choose to use that information. But the French, I'm not sure if he's spoken to you, but
we have recently. Yes, I just got back from Paris.
I see. He is interested in countering the Dutch, if I believe. His speaking is very interesting, especially for some reason Luxembourg. I will tell you, I have no interest in Luxembourg. I only wish to fund our industry and hopefully find a way to get more raw resources. We recently just researched quinine, which could be useful in the DAC continent. So
it would. The Germans also do have a plan to build colonies in the Nigerian Delta. I do hope that you wouldn't want to contend those.
Oh, of course not. But yes, we are interested in a small principality above Portuguese colonies in Angola. It looks very interesting, but I have no navy yet. But we'll look into it. So,
of course,
is there anything else you would like to speak for the?
Not at all. We're open to a free trade agreement with the Belgians. As again, we are very much a free trade kingdom at this point, so we have no opposition to that. Assuming, of course, you do not ever attempt to contend our actions internationally.
We do not. In fact, the quite opposite. We wish to become a great neutral setting for all of Europe. We notice the Helvetic Confederation, they are thinking of creating an organization, and we are also interested. We wish to find a way to delegate all great powers to avoid a major confrontation in the future.
Then we are fully aligned with one another and see no issue with this proposal, and we're happy to sign the documentation.
All right, here is the proposal, my good sir.
Very well.
We thank you very much, and hopefully we wish we can create this international organization. And I am working with the Helvetic ambassador, and good day to you, sir.
And to you, good day.
I shall take my leave, but before I do that, I shall take some of your delicious beer home.
We can have some brought to you. I know a manufacturer myself, and we can have several cases given to you, free of charge, of course.
I'm so grateful. Merci.
Of course. As way when I asked if Sokoto was a player, I don't think so. Let me check. If they are, we won't just like absolutely fuck them. No, they are not a player. So it is open seasons. We might want to let the Dutch we're going to go into the Sokoto in the future, though. As well as talk to them about what we're going to do with Siam. But we got to get confirmation from the Siamese first. Be right back. I want to go to the bathroom. Fuck up my goddamn mic. Oh, the cord's fucked up. What is cable management? Okay. So many pop-ups. We still almost have a revolution from the rural folk because they really want no colonial affairs, but we're not going to listen to them. They're commoners. Why do we have all this extra bureaucracy? Do we have enough railways now? Westphalia has, I know, one. We built one for sure. Yes. So they will need one more. The rest of the coal mines are done. We're going to build up navy bases, shipyards. I'll do more construction sectors. No, we're running a deficit, so we'll cancel those, actually. Then we'll do the universities, the last railway. And then at that point, I think we're going to be about ready to go after the Qing. We have a good surplus of gold reserves, which we're going to use for the war. The armed forces have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Yeah, we do not want to finish off the fucking armed forces before a major war, though. That's a bad idea. This needs to be addressed. We do something to make them happy. They want the secret police, the totalitarian state, and a national guard. We can do a dedicated police force. They'd like that. We can enact a police force. That's fine. We're gonna try and shore up support with the officer corps before war with the Qing by getting a bunch of police. We'll do that. You're low on trains, by the way. Thank you for telling me. Let me look. Yes, we are. Motor industry in Brandenburg. We'll put that up at the top. UK is colonizing the Niger Delta. Oh, boys. We have to wait for a quinine, which will be a while. It's like 2 years. They're gonna go for the Sokoto. We might not be able to get that then. I mean, we'll get there. It'll just be really late, which is unfortunate. Well, if we get the Qing successfully, then that's fine. The map is so clean too. We are using a bunch of mods, to be fair, Wild Boy. This isn't vanilla, but yes, the modded version is very nice. You're the world's #1 trade center? Probably because it's your profitability on it, I would imagine. Beautiful. So we'll get us 30 naval bases. Should be significant enough for a naval invasion. Whoa, they have 26 though. We'll build up another 10. We'll go all the way up to 40. Our economy's not doing too bad. The Americans have surpassed us, but that's kind of expected. Do we have any future designs of Japan? Not at this time, no. They don't even really factor into our mindset. I think there is a Japanese player. I think Ed Mooney took over Japan today. For this game. Yeah, we do. We can talk with him later. Oh yeah, Eric's really nice. He's really great at GC. We also need more ports too. Can anyone tell what route I want to go for Prussia yet? I think it'll shock you. But has anyone figured out what I want to do with Prussia? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but we're gonna do a naval Prussia. We're gonna do a naval Germany. We're gonna do a colonial naval Germany. It's the one thing I wanted to do with Prussia, even in single player, and I just have never gotten around to. So we're gonna do it in an RP game, because it'll be more interesting that way. Historically accurate. No, absolutely not. No. No, we're gonna go all history. Okay, but we have an insane deficit on ships. Not really, because we still have to build them up, though. We'll finish the shipyards, the universities, and then I think we're just gonna go purely for coal. We need some more fish, too. And lead. Fish and lead. Four. I think we're exporting, right? No, we're not. A little bit. Fish. Oof. Dude. Already is just like a naval hub. And then we'll need some... probably just coal at this point. We actually have a surplus of coal. Good, we can get more iron. And more sulfur. And then we're going to need more coal. Probably? Is there a way to import VC3 into HOI4? I don't think they've made the converter yet. They just released the EU4 to VIC3 converter. That just came out. I don't think the one to HOI4 is done yet. But when it is done, it would actually be really fun to add a HOI4 component to our VIC3 games. That would be actually pretty cool. if folks are up for that. Mini mega campaigns. Go for Queen on. Ah, we're doing the rehost. All right. Cool. Aw, it's already halfway through. Fuck. I'm having a lot of fun. I know I'm enjoying an RP game because whenever we do the rehost, I feel fucking sad because I know we're halfway done. That's how I know I'm enjoying the game. If I hit the halfway point, I'm like, oh, thank God. It's not those aren't the good ones. We do a rehost halfway through for players who drop to join, for players who are late to join, and to make the game more stable as well. So it's all our games on the server. We do that. Alrighty. I thought I killed the game, but it is apparently still alive. I can hear it. No, I'm playing the music on YouTube. Never mind. Monkey. I'll have to head out in about an hour. School tomorrow. Sounds good, man. How are you finding Vicky 3? Dante, I really like it, but that's only in the context of RP. Like, I really like RP of it. Like, to me, it's a good game because I can play in the server and do RP games of it, which I really like. Plus, the mod that we're making is really good. Vanilla Vicky 3, I'm very disappointed by, but I think it has huge potential. I feel about Vanilla Vicky 3 about how I felt about Vanilla Sikke 3, which is, although my first thought was I'm incredibly disappointed by the lack of quality, I also recognize that the skeleton that they've built is going to make for an amazing game down the line. It's just, we shouldn't have to pay another $500 for it, but yeah. That's my thoughts on it, and my finding on it. Have you played it, Dante, yet? Have you played it at all? Germany was really conservative IRL. They only cared about mainland Europe. This is alt history. I can link you guys the mega post I did if you like. I can link you the post I did that explains what we're doing right now. Let me go ahead and link you. You're in the server, Zodi, so you can click on the link. This is the post I made that describes why we're doing what we're doing. You'll understand a bit better, Zodi. Is there a production tree as a graphic somewhere? You mean for like what produces what, or what do you mean, Rot Plus? Production tree. There's a mod that does that shows you like what something produces, what goes into it, and what goes out of it. But if you want to clarify, I can answer that better. What produces what? Yeah, there's a mod that does that. Let me link it for you. I'll have to find it. It's in the list of mods we added. 1 second. I think it was from the originals we added. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. This is the mod that you want, man. You can still get achievements with it and stuff too, so just throw it on your game. It'll tell you what the fuck you're actually making and what you need. If that's what you're referring to. If that's not what you're referring to, let me know. It was never their main priority. No, it was not, but this is an alternative timeline. I said that from the beginning. This will not be a historical Prussia, nor a historical Germany. I'm going to follow Kotzbringer. Oh, my game's not loading. Fuck. Slow. I know we're having a separate conversation. Ah. Damn. My boy out here writing a fucking PDF document to the Britain for this RP. Ooh, that might get highlighted. Let me look at that. I'll save that later. That might be worth some highlighted RP. That's actually very solid. Goddamn. Zach, we're not talking to you right now. Oh, well, excuse me. Oh, my gosh. More like in the old times Anno style. That I don't know about Raw Plus. I don't think there is. I've never seen one, at least. Fuck, I haven't played an Anno game in fucking forever. They made a newer one too, didn't they? I just never played it. Someone asked if we're going historical, and I said we wouldn't be building up a strong fleet so soon. No, that is incorrect. That is patently incorrect. This is not a historical Prussia. Let me reiterate that. This is non-hist. Non-hist district. Iron symbol is needed for XYZ. Yeah, no, that doesn't exist right now, man, unfortunately. Not that I'm aware of, at least. It could be out there, I have not seen it. That would be convenient, though. Loading. What's up, Moscow? Pressure's going very good. We got some interesting stuff in the works. We'll see there. Scooby, what's up, man? Good to see you. How's it going?
Their queen.
Hello there.
Received a ultimatum from the Spanish, and we wish you to join us in Amsterdam for.
Very well, we're on the way.
Mediation.
Perfect time to build up our fleet, huh?
Yeah, Spain just walked in with a demand from their 11-year-old queen that we.
I think we're gonna need to have a little talk here in Amsterdam then.
Yeah, it's
Perhaps that child
it's
needs a
bit of
good
a threat.
spanking. Prussia would be happy to give one.
Well, it does seem that way. I mean, we even offered to sit down and have a diplomatic talk about how we could both keep our territories and figure out future relations in the East Indies, but that wasn't accepted. Just came in with demands and walked out.
Out of RP, who's the Spanish player? I want to make sure we're not about to like dunk on a new player or something.
It is they're named after the queen of something. I didn't really see. There we go. Queen Isabel de Bourbon.
Jeez. Okay, cool. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, so let's. In that case, there is no dialogue. We have no actual recourse here.
Yeah. There's there is it was just a demand. It was just a military demand, pretty much. Retreat from Borneo. That was all the discussion that was had.
Very well. I mean, in that case, when the Spanish declare their conflict, we'll be joining. We would have the request, though, that the Spanish Philippines be potentially given to the Prussians if we're going to be sitting at our brand new navy to fight for the Dutch, of course.
Oh, certainly. You see, while we are wanting to expand our empire as much as possible, we are not averse to working with other colonial empires, especially not friendly ones who wish to work with us as well. The Spanish, we were willing to work with them, even though they went under our noses to expand their empire in the Indies. We still were willing to cooperate, and yet we were snubbed for it.
Very well.
Met with
in that case, it is a perfect time to say that the Prussia has just finished its naval restructuring, and we have commissioned a fleet which we believe can rival most of those in Europe. We are still commissioning the last of the vessels, though, and that will take a little bit longer. But once those are finished, I think we will be able to certainly contend the Spanish fleet and prepare to take action against the Spanish Empire.
Well, we're very glad to hear that, and we hope that we can work together well in this potential coming conflict.
Be sure to set an envoy to the Dutch East Indies region if you didn't have already one there.
We'd be happy to send an ambassador, a permanent establishment if you'd like to.
Well, it'll definitely help you establish relations with the Filipino colonies, being so close, if you do wish to have them transferred to your rule in the future as well.
Absolutely. Declared interest, right?
Yeah.
There we go. It has been added.
And then let's hope Spain doesn't declare war before the envoy arrives, because that would be very gamey.
Well, he can. Has he started it? No, he hasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
as it stands,
we still could, right?
It'll take me. Oh, I'm not too sure, but it'll take some time to move it. I mean, in that case, we could actually, frankly, just consider a straight-up invasion of the Kingdom of Spain at that point.
Yeah, that could definitely work. A retaliation.
How big is their fleet? 30 flotillas. How much do the Dutch have? 25?
Yeah, we have 25.
We have 7 active right now, but we will be building up to 40 total. We're just building the new ships at the moment.
Well,
I've built those naval bases, but it takes the time to just get them built, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no.
I would suggest a combined naval invasion.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, presently my forces are tied up in Madagascar, but that shouldn't take long at all. Their forces are vastly inferior to ours. It's just a matter of I keep getting stuck in mud, my soldiers, so they can't really walk very far each time, but they will get there.
How long does it take to build new ships? I've never actually looked that over. Does it tell you how long it takes?
I'm not entirely sure, actually.
Maybe it's employment.
It's employment, but because Paradox can't code ships supplies, it's purely employment based, and every naval base will increase your employment rate by
Let me try something real quick then.
And increasing the wages of your military personnel will increase the training rate.
Beautiful.
In addition to bringing potential loyalty bonuses.
Oh yes, I know that. We'll go ahead and up that. Okay, let's hope it goes quickly then. I think it's also because I don't have enough, no, I have enough men in war. Either way, my fleet will be out very, very soon. Are they about to declare this right now? Have they already done it?
They haven't said, when they might, declare it. I don't think they've posted it in diplomatic plays either, so...
Very well.
As it stands, we're not quite sure when they might strike. However, we can be sure they will be likely to strike, as long as they don't decide to back down due to the defense pact that that we do have with you.
Given their hostility, I don't think either of us should be very interested in trying to speak with them. We'll let them make this choice, and we'll go from there.
Oh yeah, certainly.
The chance to gain land in Asia is certainly a welcome one. So if they want to back themselves into a corner, that is their choice.
Well, it's always good to never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, as they say.
Precisely. The fuck did I get a rivalry of Austria? All right, very well. Is there anything else I can do for you? Or otherwise, we'll return home to Berlin.
Well, for the main Dutch nation, we're alright. I'm not sure about the Dutch East Indies.
maybe rely on Dutch furniture to in terms of trading, you may want to rely on Dutch furniture since we have a ample supply of wood and can produce them very cheaply.
We'd be open to importing basic furniture, but luxury furniture, as with all luxury goods, we will be attempting to produce for ourselves. Would that be agreeable?
That is agreeable with me.
Yes, I was just making a suggestion.
Sure, we're not opposed to that at all. Actually, do I need furniture? I do need a little bit, yes. Very well, we're gonna begin imports from the Dutch then. We do need to get more trading ships, as all of our current our ports are working to build military vessels, of course.
And Netherlands, can I suggest to embargo or whatever Spain, because they're importing lots and lots of wood from us.
That could work.
And look at other trading partners.
Very well, but we
yeah,
will
we
import
need,
furniture from you. I will take my leave, as there are many matters to attend to in Berlin. If they strike, we will stand with you, of course. Very well.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Prussia. We're very grateful for this friendship.
Of course, as we are for you. I'll rename my channel real quick. Berlin. Okay. We gotta get that navy out. It's going. It's just very slow. We are starting to, by the way, annex Germanic states. There are many states that have been asking to join our union. We never force any of them to, but we do have an open offer currently, RP-wise, to all Germanic states to join the federal Kingdom of Prussia if they wish. So some have started to do so, seeing our prosperity. You're actually exporting furniture. Don't tell them that. We're trying to cooperate. We'll import a little bit as a show of cooperation. Well, we just need more convoys. Our economy would be so much bigger, but ooh, Anhalt's gonna join. That's big, actually. That's a big city. That was a lot of GDP we just annexed. Oh boy. Now we need munitions because we have our ships, which will be taking quite a lot now. Can I export sulfur? Then again, can we? No, we can't do sulfite. We can't do paper bleaching, so we'll keep that. We'll go for the Bessemer press to make more steel. Sewing machines, sweeteners, canneries, steel tool workshops. What about now? Need a lot of fish for some reason. We're getting there. Transportation, too. I'm sure there's someone that needs railways. Yes, there are. Westphalia. You're a Zoomer. Are we reforming the HRE? No, the HRE is dead, and we will not be bringing it back at all. Cadillacs?
Oh,
I rode in
sorry.
a Cadillac once. It wasn't a really nice one, but I remember not being very impressed with it, given its reputation.
Greetings, Prussia. Hey, it's France.
Hello there, Ambassador. What can I do for you?
Hey, I just wanted to stop by and just real quick talk to you about our. We're putting down a revolution in Turkey, and a recent news has reached us from Sicily that is claiming the Sardinians have proclaimed themselves a republic, and it seems that they are losing control of that area. We're going to be moving in to help the Sicilians stop that republic from forming, but we wanted to specifically talk to you about Spain and the Dutch East Indies. We understand that
we have that under control.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we were staying neutral in this, and that we were not coming to his side of it. Okay.
We are cooperating with the Dutch, and as such, we cannot have our extensive trade interests with them obviously hampered by the Spanish and their actions there. There was a threat made between the Kingdom of Spain and their queen, a child, I believe, who made a threat to the Dutch about an invasion, and the Prussia will respond and assist our allies if necessary, as again, the flow of goods cannot be stopped to Prussian markets.
I understand. Okay. Are you... Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we were staying neutral there. Thank you very much.
Of
I'll
course,
talk
and
to
I wanted
you,
to make you aware of that situation as well. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
Farewell. What's up, Moose? How's it going, dude? How's your weekend going, man? Turkish Civil War, yeah, there was a revolution. It's a player. He tried to get a more, like, reformed government, and the French intervened to stop that from happening. France is basically RPing, like, global police from liberalism. They're stopping liberalism anywhere they can. Which is...
Actually, our revolt was, for clarification, I actually popped in for a different reason, but
Oh.
our revolt was, the emirs were rising up because we were trying to enact more reforms for the Tanzimat.
I see. I gotcha.
That's it.
Good day. What can I do for you?
Not something like I'm role playing as Cuba, or rather as the intelligence in Cuba. I heard that. Wait, sorry. Good day. I'm Cesaro Figuero. I traveled here from Cuba. There's been some talk about Germany going to war with Spain, Prussia going to war with Spain.
Mr. De Marino, welcome to Berlin. We do not wish it per se, but it does appear as though it may be necessary. The Spanish have made vile claims and statements upon our friends in Amsterdam, and if they intend to take action, the recently constructed Prussian Navy will be intervening to assure that our economic interests are not harmed.
Indeed. Well, of course, as a leader of the opposition, and indeed an ardent opponent of the current slavery in Cuba, I was hoping that an outside force would be able to end the current situation in Cuba.
We had discussed with the Dutch the possibility of freeing the Philippines, but we could certainly consider Cuba instead. We obviously view slavery, much like serfdom, though it is far worse, to be a vile act against both God and man, and would fully support the ending of such a thing.
Yes. Indeed, the more pressing issue even is that there is a large degree of slave trade even. They're not only...
Spain is continuing the slave trade?
Cuba has slave trade, but Spain also has
they have
slavery.
legacy slavery, yeah, but
Yes,
you have full slavery. Okay, I see.
Yeah, slave trade.
Well, if it does result in a war with the Spanish, we would be interested in discussing this with you. However, there would need to be some degree of understanding about the future of Cuba.
Of course.
Prussia is going to be entering into, I suppose, what the Europeans would call colonialism, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. We will not be directly administering or controlling any states. We are looking for more of an economic union with foreign powers and foreign nations, wherein you would allow for our currency to be the only one used for any trading within your country, and give preferred status to our tariff-free free market here in Berlin. If that is something Cuba is interested in joining, and in assistance for us, granting you independence from the Spanish, and supporting you militarily and otherwise with ridding yourself of the slave trade, we could be very agreeable.
Yes, would indeed be agreeable. Being part of a tariff-free market is no great burden, at least in comparison to, of course, the Spanish elites back in Cuba, and also, of course, the crown itself.
Yes, of course. We think we would be a much more beneficial option.
Oh, yes,
we would
yes,
obviously have no power over your own politics, would not interfere in your domestic affairs, and be very disinterested, again, in all thing but an economic union, so.
Yes, I believe I shall inform my compatriots of such.
Wonderful.
But of course, whilst not being so open about the matter, so as to inform.
I would ask you to
leadership.
keep it discreet, of course. I mean, we wouldn't want all of Europe knowing what we have planned here, but
Well, of course not. Of course
I hope I can count on your discretion.
that you can.
Wonderful.
Oh, thank
Then
you.
we will speak very soon.
So, that we shall. Good day to you.
The ambassador from the actually, real quick, are you being invited, Netherlands?
Yes.
Did
We
they
are
already
being
declare the
invaded
war?
now.
Yes,
No,
they declared
it's midway. It's midway through the diplomatic play. The war's not started yet.
Did you ask me
Yeah.
about? I was.
You go ahead and ask me to join, but like you can give me basically an offer of something, right?
Yeah.
No, you're already supporting. It's very strange.
Okay, if
Yeah,
I move
it's
if I move to leaning towards, I think you can offer me, right?
Yeah, I should be able to. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Any workers' obligations they have promised us will be lost, and our relations with them will be reduced by 50. I don't know if that will still let me do it.
Yeah, that is a bit.
Does this mod enable peaceful transfers?
It does, yes.
So Netherlands can just take the infamy hit and declare for one of your goals.
How much is the infamy on it?
Liberate. Do you mean transfer subject?
No, it'd be liberate. They're just gonna join our customs union.
It would be nothing to liberate.
You're
the
fine.
colony of
Can you
Philippines, right?
liberate Cuba then? The Philippines we're not interested in. It'd just be for Cuba.
I can't do anything for Cuba. There isn't an option for Cuba.
Declared interest.
Yeah, I don't think they're in this.
Okay, go ahead and
extent.
fuck, god damn it. Let me hop
The
in
war
there.
goal stage is ending very soon, so we'll have to.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna. We can't risk it though. Let me go talk to the player. Where's he at?
Right.
God damn it, where the fuck is he? Out of RP, I'm joining, but we have a bug thing where I'm already on their side, so I can't be offered anything. I wanted to either have the Philippines transferred to us if we win, or give Cuba independence. Would you be willing to do that? Since I don't know if I will bug out the game if I leave and go back into the play. Are you cool with that, Spain?
Sure, let's go for the Cuba thing then.
Cool, sounds good. All right, he's good with it. He's gonna release Cuba if we win.
All right.
All right, very well. The Prussian military will be mobilizing, and as we're all Navy.
Oh god. All these notifications. Right. The notifications keep taking up my screen. There we go. The Dutch Navy and Army are standing by.
I have 12 ships at present. It's still going up, so we could just try a naval invasion as is, I guess, or we could wait.
Yeah, we have 27 ships.
Do you want to launch the naval invasion and we can reinforce it? I mean, if the war goes longer, we'll have our whole fleet, but right now we don't. So.
Yeah, we can do. I suppose I'll invade Galicia. Seems as good a state as any. There we go. Alright, our navy is now preparing. In 50 days, we should launch an invasion.
Perfect.
It seems that a large chunk of the Spanish forces have gone to Lanfang.
Yeah.
If they wish to fight in the colonies, that's unfortunate for your puppet there, but we all know this war will be won in Europe.
Not the majority though. I don't actually. 51 and 34. Actually, no. I think that might be the vast majority of Spanish divisions.
Well, why don't you go ahead and set a naval invasion, and hopefully we will be good.
Yeah, the naval invasion is going to 26 days. It's going to land in Galicia.
I reorganized my military. Now the front in West Borneo should hold.
That's good. That's good. Oh yeah, no, it looks like you're able to hold that.
Or not, because I'm still losing.
Oh, right. Well.
Ow.
Well, it should be fine. I trust in the quality of both our Dutch troops.
60 days and Prussian troops were alive in Borneo?
One day.
Actually, no.
The naval invasion has landed. The Dutch are in Spain.
Reinforcing?
Oh. Where? There we go. Okay, they were there.
We will arrive in 17 days.
We should be able to hold if they get any forces there first, but I don't think they will. It don't look like the Spanish are even.
They have to bring them back all the way from the colonies, and with the Prussian reinforcements, we
Yeah.
should be able to occupy all their cities.
Spain should fall quickly to the Dutch and Prussian forces.
Six days.
Oh, Madrid has fallen.
Beautiful. Are they suing for peace yet?
No sue for peace as of yet.
We have arrived.
The
Oh my God,
first Prussian battle
38%
against
attrition
0
rate,
Spanish
no
troops.
supply. Oh boy. Oh boy. Pretty high casualty rate.
Sorry, Netherlands.
Yes.
Was it clear this was a colonial war or not?
Well, we were
Because you conquered like all of Spain.
I thought we said you couldn't take mainland territory, not that you couldn't fight wars there, hastening, or do I have that wrong?
I'm doing the normal rules, so you can conquer. I'm going to come back on that thing.
Yeah, let me go look at the rule set. Make sure we're doing this right.
Yeah. Because I'm uncertain right now.
Colonial. No, he's right. You can declare colonial wars in which all fighting must be done outside home territories in Europe as well as concessions. I didn't realize we said no war in Europe. That's my bad. All right. Fuck,
Yep.
we have to pull out then.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just conquered all of Spain. I don't think he's gonna have very much
Bit
war
late.
support.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit.
That's right.
Yeah, a bit of a.
So how's this gonna work now?
Yeah, sorry about that, Spain.
I had it in my mind that it was you could fight in Europe, but you couldn't take concessions in Europe for a colonial war. So yeah, I fucked that up too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's a fighting and yeah, it's to make sure that like if Prussia and France has like a minor thing about say a like small port in Kenya, it shouldn't become like a grand war.
Yeah. But I mean, then again, like everyone's deployed all of their armies at that point, so we'll have to relook at that rule. But in this case, how about we just white peace it then?
I guess, yeah.
Yep.
Because
Makes sense.
I'm fairly sure we had this specific discussion about this, because I think we had an incident like that with the British invading the Spanish in the Friday game.
I do not remember it. You could be right.
To be perfectly
And I think
honest,
I probably
the
gave the
last-
wrong call because I'm sure I told them the same thing.
Yeah, I read it after, and that's why it's pretty clear in my mind.
No, it is on there.
Yeah, it's on there. Yep, exactly. I read it like yesterday. So. Yeah.
Alright. Well, no harm done, anyways.
Yep.
Well, sorry about that. hope I hope the economic devastation and yeah.
I
Paris
mean, my
was
economy
not
just slightly exploded, so.
It's not real bad though, because like there wasn't battles. It's the battles that really caused the devastation.
Yeah, especially.
Occupation will
if you
go
have,
away within
artillery.
like a couple months.
Yeah, at least it's not siege artillery.
Yup.
That's so bad when that happens. Yep. I think that's resolved. Thank you all.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, that was a bit of an awkward ending to that war.
Well, shit. That's a
But
shame.
now we know. Now we know for the future that that's not how we can end this conflict.
We'll just have to fight in the colonies, which is fine. We could have done that. I just didn't realize it. So.
Yeah, the last 2 games I played, I was Finland and Switzerland, so I'm not really that clued up on the colonial rules as much as
Yeah, I haven't played as like a big colonial nation ever. I've only played as small powers. So, yep.
Well, yeah.
Small and
Oh,
close, but not colonial nations.
Well, what also would be a issue is that if we were to actually add free Cuba, we would have to occupy the capital, Spain, in order to do that, to obtain that war goal.
That is true, yeah. I mean, but players can actually accept war goals even if there's not support, assuming they don't have an AI on their side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that time we probably would have been alright for them to just accept it.
Yep.
Granted, we weren't able to get a Cuba war goal anyway, because they weren't in the interest region. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to think of a better plan for if Spain attempts a new invasion. Although they probably won't for quite a while, so I think the plan will just have to be cut off supply and take over Lanfang.
I mean, I'm
maybe
still
an
building up my
invasion of
navy.
Philippines.
By the time another war happens, my navy will be significant.
Currently, I have a max of 30. I'm probably going to expand it even further. But yeah, I'm trying to make my navy more significant as well, which should protect our colonial interests a lot more in the future. The Dutch-Prussian naval programs.
Oh yeah, it's growing. I'm gonna focus mainly on navy from here on out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a mighty army particularly, so a navy is always useful to have in the colonial game.
It certainly is. And we have the army as well, so no issues there.
Well, yeah, Prussia's definitely a gifted nation for that. Lots of men, a lot of industry, lots of resources.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Netherlands, can we obtain engines from somewhere?
Hang on. Yes, from Prussia.
If you need more engines, we can build those up.
No, it's just a single railway, so I wouldn't worry about it. But I think Amsterdam has disappeared in the virtual world or something.
Have we? Oh right, yeah, because we both left the voice chat. That's why.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll create it again now.
Great Queen or King of Prussia, am I intruding?
You're not. What can I do for you?
Well, as previously you have discussed with a fellow nobleman from Siam, whose words were relayed to the king, is our deal for, or is our deal still on?
It is very much open, though we will need to finish the buildup of the Prussian Navy, but most certainly it is.
Ah, very well. In that case, I do have a request. Would it be possible for you to support us right now in our preparations for war? Or shall I not be required to fight myself?
We could do that. We might struggle a bit to defeat their navy at present, though. So if you give us a little bit longer for our navy, to clarify, I've already built the facilities. We're just waiting for the ships to finish, is the main thing here.
Ah, very well. Then I shall continue to focus inward for now.
Yes, I would say most likely in the beginning or middle of 44, we'd be capable.
Okay. I shall relay this back home, and we shall continue our discussions at a later date then.
Very well. We will let you know as soon as the fleet is built in the ports of Pomerania.
Very well. We shall await your Prussian-flagged ships on our shores.
We look forward to it. Oh boy, we have to make a call. Hello there, this is an ambassador from Prussia.
Hello there.
We'd just like to let you know that
again.
the previous deal we discussed regarding Siam is coming up very closely, if you are still interested.
I am indeed. I have begun. Oh, I say I've begun. I've been in the process of upgrading our Austrian fleet. We are currently up to 20 flotillas.
Beautiful.
So I believe that should be sufficient with your combined fleet to quash the Qing.
We should be completely fine. We will have up to 32 flotillas, but the last of them are still being constructed in our ports at present. But yes, I told the Siamese ambassador that we would invade sometime in the earlier or middle part of 1844, if that's agreeable to you.
That is certainly something I can be prepared for, yes.
Good. In that case,
just gonna say, out of RP, what region do I need declared? Is it Siam?
You need declared on like this southern region of China and maybe the Siamese region, I think.
Okay.
Because one, so you can get given the ports, and then the other one, so you can join the play of Siam, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. I've done both, so that should be all right. Cool. Thank you.
Few decades away from what? Oh, Hitler bullshit. I think you have access to the Indian market if you take Gal from them. That is actually true. From the Portuguese, we need to, though. We're about to fight the Qing. Wait, where's Gal? Let me Google it. Oh, Goa! Oh, God. Goa. Yeah, Goa's controlled by the Portuguese, though, and we're not going to war with them. So... yeah, we're going to war against the Qing, so we couldn't take that from them. Mage. Just heads up. Fishing. Then at that point... we need some more explosives. 2. And then we need more ammunition. And then we're also going to need a railway there. Alrighty. The slaves are rising up. In Uruguay or where? Gotta reduce our military spending here. Man, that flotilla's they're getting built so slow. I think again it's just we don't have qualified officers, I think is what this is. Even with a 50% literacy rate. Which makes sense. I mean, They would be very hard to come by, and we're trying to build one out of scratch, which kind of hard to do. Make sure they're all with good relations to us. Alright, that's good. Man, that economic growth. All those states joining, carrying us. You're losing major status because I need 151's prestige. I have 167. Well, you need a lot more, yeah. Prestige is hard to get if you don't have a big economy. Most of your prestige comes from producing the most of a good. That's where a lot of it comes from. How's our steel manufacturing? Because I wanted that to be one of our main things. Second world producer, good. We're right behind the UK. That's what I wanted. We'll need to up that number too. We have a surplus. We can export a little bit. Oof, maybe not. We'll export a bit to the Dutch. When we're done with all this, we're going to go ahead and build up our ports too. Why free trade? Because we, in the RP prior to the start of the game, Fish did a series of major reforms that resulted in basically the complete abandoning of mercantilist policies and embracing like a free trade doctrine. Our government was forced to give major concessions, and we have like a reformer queen in charge. How's our military tech? This would actually be worth rushing over sewage. We'll go for that. Then we'll go for triage. And then we'll go from probably modern nursing. We gotta get a military stuff up here. It'd be nice to have ironclads, but we're just not gonna get to that in time. We should have rifling though. Free trade is horrible. Not in this game, it's not. If you know how to use it. We lost the war. No, we lost, there was like a 5-day civil war in the RP prior to the start of the game, but it wasn't actually in the game. I'm doing like an alt history Prussia. Those munition plants, they're more important. Cool, got a free university. Agnes Lascar has offered to spend some of their personal wealth to fund the creation of a university in the Rhineland. Absolutely. We'll build more of those in the future too. The amount of paper we're going to go through. 21. I want us to at least have as much as the Qing. The Qing have 26. When we get 26, we'll go in with Siam. Probably the last bit of the game today. We won't finish the War of the Qing today. That just won't happen. We can start a play against them, right? Yes, we can. Yep. Oh. Because there's already a play going. Kingdom of Siam is going to war with a sultanate, I think. Yep, conquering this state. Alright, we'll have to wait till this war's done now. You could trade war someone with free trade by buying all their guns before you are preparing for war. Fuck. Need more luxury clothing. We need more luxury furniture. There we go. Need more paper. Can't upgrade it, so let's see about importing. Yep, Austrian paper. How far is our economy behind the Austrian economy? Good chunk, 15 mil behind. That's expected. Deleted the comment. Put another one in the Niger Delta. We may still go in there at some point. I just realized we can't produce the ships we want because we have to change all of them on Pomerania, so we actually need more shipbuilding. We'll put a shipyard in Western Prussia. We'll do 2 and then we'll put those on military shipbuilding. That's why we don't have enough ships, we just don't have enough of them, I think. Yep. That would do it. So you're on with that. Have a good night, man. Go for smooth bores. We have plenty of artillery, but we need a lot more small arms. I suppose we could import them. No one really produces enough. That's a shame. For cutting the beard? Oh boy. I still have that as a reward, don't I? Oh god. Thought I got rid of that. Triage. Yeah, well, we don't want to take too many casualties in this war, so we'll go for triage. Trade routes, that's fine. We'll import some for the British. We'll call it. We'll wait for the munitions and the shipyards plants to be done, and then we're gonna go. Then we'll be good. No, you can't have VIP and mod together. Fuck, we're back down to 5th. Who's in front of us? Fucking Russia. Their economy is larger than ours now, too. It's been larger than ours. We're not far behind, though. Especially if we can get Siam and trade ports in the Qing. I mean, then our economy will just be monstrous. Let's see, any other laws we want to do here? I think we're pretty realistic on where we'd be, generally. Right of assembly. Yeah, we wouldn't do that. Poor laws we do, but we don't have the money for.
Hello,
Maybe
it is
after
I.
school. Hello there.
Well, hello. I'm glad to tell you that we the Siamese have expanded our territory and now feel confident to, well, go to war. How do the Prussians stand on this?
We're about ready. We're just building up the last of our munition plants before the war, but they should be ready. So if you'd like, we can go ahead and launch the play.
Okay. Well.
Let me go speak with the Austrians to make sure that they have it in their location. One moment.
Yeah.
Are the Austrians ready? We are about to declare the play. Do you have your interest there and whatnot?
Indeed, I do. I should be good to go.
Okay, we're beginning it. And then I'm gonna don't do anything. Let me offer to try and sway you. Once it goes to the diplomatic maneuver, then I will be able to offer you a trade port in China in order to sway you in. That's how we'll do this.
Excellent.
Want to hop into the channel with Siam with me real quick?
Yep.
Cool.
Good day.
All right, we have begun the play.
I'm trying to, but it's not working. What
No,
do
I
need
just
to
did.
Do?
I just started the play for you. We're gonna liberate you.
Greetings.
Thank you.
Hello there.
I have.
Hello?
I am a representative of the East India Company.
Well, welcome to Berlin. What can we do for you?
I have, out of character due to weird gameplay reasons, I couldn't actually join the Opium War. I have come to offer the assistance of the East India Company in the liberating of Siam from the Qing.
That is good to hear, but we would have to, of course, ask if you are wishing for anything out of this beyond the independence of the noble people of Siam, of course.
We are currently interested in limiting the influence of the Qing in Southeast Asia. That is all.
Oh, well,
Such
wonderful.
excellent. Austria, you're backing the Qing.
What?
Austria, that's the Qing side.
Hold on, let me. I can offer him something. Here we go. Offer. Take treaty port.
Oh, I must have had a.
You should get a pop-up right now. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
cool.
you got confused because
There
I
we go.
can't choose sides because I'm sub-state of China.
I had no idea that it was AI, so I just assumed it was you giving me the treaty port, so I accepted it blindly. That was my fault.
They already have an open market?
Me? No.
No, the Qing. I'm trying to open their market. It won't let me.
I think that's because the British already opened their market.
Oh my. Well, there we go. We can do one more thing to them. Let's liberate some more of their subjects, I guess. We'll liberate Dainam as well.
Liberation of Burma would also be appreciated by East India Company, but is not required for our support.
We would be willing to do that. Just do remember that we did this.
Yes, we will. We remember this. I assure you.
Oh, they backed down.
Well, a bit anticlimactic, but I suppose great.
Good
They
for Sam.
backed down.
Excellent.
We
This
didn't
is
get
a
treaty
resounding victory.
ports?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
damn it.
disappointing.
That is very disappointing.
Well,
Well,
more war.
I guess we'll just have to have a more direct conflict with the Qing to get those very soon.
Yes.
Indeed.
Right. I still
Conflict
believe this
I
was.
would rather join. Yes.
I still believe
But,
this was fairly productive. Farewell,
No,
gentlemen.
I agree. The freedom of the Kingdom of Siam is of pinnacle importance to us, so we're very happy about that.
Indeed. Another question. I'm trying to change my trade laws. How do I do that?
You have to go to the politics menu, the laws, and then under trade policy, you have to choose another one when there's the option for it.
Yeah, they're all grayed out. Do I need some group to be?
So I could, yeah, you do. What I could do is basically do a threat. So I could basically do a play to open your market right now.
Oh yeah. that
You'd
would
take,
be
I think, a
fine with
little
me.
prestige hit, but you don't have a ton of it to begin with, and then you'd open up your market. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, please. That would help.
Okay. Just when I start it, click back down, and then it'll happen.
Give in.
You have to wait until the opening moves phase, so it'll just be a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you to it then. Speak to you later.
Yep. As soon as you back down, then go ahead and we'll improve relations with one another, and we'll offer you to our customs union.
Yeah, very great. Our king shall gladly await this message and opening of trade between our great nations.
Wonderful.
Just one question.
Yes.
Our economic policy, on what sort of products would you like us to focus? Opium, perhaps?
Opium would be very useful. Let me take a look what else you can actually construct here. Tea, silk, tobacco, as well as wood, if you could as well, would be perfect, and opium as well.
I am capable of producing all those things. I shall get to it forthright.
Wonderful.
Very well.
And we will, of course, ensure that there are plenty of high-value goods, tools, luxury clothing for your elite. All manner of things will flow into the port of Bangkok.
And guns, please. Guns.
Oh, most certainly. We have a new model we're working on right now. We'll ask you to keep that a little quiet, but we do have a new model that we're about to start working on. It's going to be very cutting edge, I can assure you.
Perhaps we could field test it sometime. We have
well,
some
we did promise to
smaller
support your
issues to
expansion
do.
in Southeast Asia. That would be a good field test.
Very well. There are two smaller sultanates that I wish to take, but I believe I shall talk to the English first. Those that reside in Britain. Do they still
Very
call
well.
themselves English?
I think so, yes.
Right. Okay, good day.
Good day to you too. Kaiser, this is the ambassador in Vienna.
Welcome.
We'd just like to speak with you after everything that happened. Oh my god, did the British just take a treaty port? I think they did.
I would like to talk with the two of you.
I don't see a treat.
If that's alright.
Absolutely is.
Welcome to speak.
So, first off, Prussia. There are a couple things I want to, a couple important things I want to ask your opinion on. What would you think of a peace dividend, for, Britain? They were saying they would like there to be a peace dividend where if a nation wishes to, they can, if they are in economic turmoil, they can demilitarize to get economic protection from the British. Does that sound like
What do you mean exactly?
the British would aid them economically?
In rebuilding?
Yes.
That sounds like extreme
I'm
amounts
not
of British
completely
influence
sure
in foreign
myself.
markets, which we would not support.
I'm not too sure how it works myself. And then also Spain and France were proposing the idea to move the Conference of Europe to Bern instead
We
of
have
Vienna.
already said that we have no opposition to that, so that's completely fine.
Okay. And then we'd like a meeting between the members of the organization just to talk about the current situation.
What current situation?
There's been a few wars. Austria, I heard war was happening with them. And then
There's colonial wars. I
Spain.
mean, those are not worthy of the Congress of Vienna.
Yeah, it's not the Congress of Vienna. It's it's an organizational meeting, not like
I understand, but these organizations are there, as we understood it, to deal with crises, and there's no crisis currently happening as far as Prussia's concerned.
Okay.
I mean, we have no desire to support like some sort of more concrete organization, if that is what you're suggesting. I mean, we mean no offense to the Swiss, but This is not something Prussia is interested in. I don't know about the Austrian Empire.
What are your thoughts, Austria?
If I'm honest, I have many important things to do. One of them would not be to hear the prattling on for the other major powers. If I need to talk to them, I will do so directly, but at the moment I don't see any need to discuss anything.
Alright, currently we do have Spain, France, and the UK will be joining, so...
Okay, well, we'll send minor ambassadors, but a formal delegation will not be there from Prussia.
Alright.
Your
Hold
Excellency.
On. Oh, man. Something's happening with the Swiss. I gotta... The fuck... Not Swiss. The, fucking Siam.
Your Excellencies, appears to... the people back in Cuba have a quite bad time given Qing no longer selling grain to...
One moment, Hastening. Austria, there's about to be a war against the Siamese. If we can talk to him before this, I don't know where the fuck he is. He could call us in and offer us those treaty ports to defend.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll get
He's
on
not any
that.
of the fucking VCs though. I don't know where the hell he went. God damn it. Hastening, if we enter the play on his side, then we win because he's not in VCs. Could you edit it so we get trade ports in the Qing? Is that an option?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, cool.
Is UK player not anywhere to be found, or?
No, we're talking about the Siam player. He's not in the VCs. I'm looking for him.
Wait.
Because we were just about to do a war with the Qing to get trade ports, and then the Qing stood down, but then they just sided with someone he's about to attack and stuff, so...
Oh, yeah. I'll
Alright,
DM
cool.
him for sure. Like...
Austria, if you wanna
players
support
do
Siam,
not
then we can fight the
in
Qing, and
game.
then we'll get the edit.
I'll actually... I think there's a few players who haven't like actually come in, so I'll actually make a thing. Remember?
Sorry?
I'm going to make a victory free announcement that everyone needs to be in VC. Or join requests.
Day. The great king of Siam wishes to express his thanks for joining him in his struggle against China.
Yeah, you were in VCs, man. Like, we were trying to tell you, because you could have called us in by offering us the stuff that we needed, but we'll have to get the save edit, yep.
I was a bit distracted, sorry. Somebody came by the door. I was looking for you, so I couldn't find you. I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay, should I leave now? Do you have something important to discuss?
I mean, no, we're about to fight the war with you, so...
Yeah,
if you'd like to stay here. Why can't I naval invade? I have a northern Burma army.
The recent blockade of Qing made, as Spain and the Spanish market is entirely dependent on imports from Qing, and the price raised by 75% with lack of grain in the entire market. It's quite upsetting for...
Hey, I mean, they export a massive amount of goods. That's why we need to ensure that we will not have our economic interests ever harmed there.
Yes, quite so. Did the UK lose their attempt to take a treaty port in Beijing?
I believe so. Was it in Beijing?
Yes, I believe they tried imaging.
Yeah, they failed.
Infecting.
I'm preparing a naval invasion, by the way.
As am I.
Okay.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Very well. Alright, we have a naval invasion in 11 days. We're going to be hitting the southern coast of Guangdong.
Great, I'm pushing them off the peninsula.
I have one arriving in
there too.
14 days in Shazhao. Shazhao?
Yeah.
Oh, we've engaged their navy. Oh, yep. No issue. We engaged their navy off the coast of Dainam, and we are about to sink it.
Excellent.
So the Austrians have landed. We appear to have screened the fleet for you.
That's good. Here's I. Somehow.
Difficult landing. Fuck. Sink this fleet quicker. If I hit at the same time as you do, there's a higher chance of succeeding. And their fleet is entirely sunk. We are trying to land. Oh man, why are we losing? Insufficient naval invasion support. My fleet's not big enough. God damn it. We're not gonna succeed this. We'll just have to invade with a smaller force is what this is.
Yeah, you need like equal ships to troops, right?
Yes. And I sit in Hohenzollern, who has 50. And I only have 28 flotillas. That's oh man, we lost a lot of troops there. Not too bad, 6,000. Okay, let's reassess. What do we? Let's make sure we have all the munitions. Yes. Okay. I'm going to invade with. I'll have to use Moltke.
I've begun another 2 naval invasions. Hopefully they shall succeed a bit.
Where are you hitting? I'll hit the same place.
I'm hitting Shaozhou.
Okay.
Next to the right of Guangdong.
Alright, we're sending our navy there too. 49 days.
So I got 40, 42. They should hopefully arrive.
We are pushing them in the peninsula, at least. That's something. Actually, no, we're not. What the fuck am I losing?
Do you have enough guns and all?
Mm-hmm. That Qing equivalent to us right now? I didn't put on fucking rifles. God damn it.
Oh, did you not upgrade?
No, I have them now, though. I just didn't click the button.
Wait,
Didn't
did I
you
do
go on
mine?
the defenses then for a
Oh, I
bit?
didn't.
So your
Oh, no,
troops
I
can
did. They have
rearm?
got rifles. Is
Alright,
my
this
navy
should fare a
turning
little
up
bit better
6
now.
days? Hope this goes a bit better.
12 days.
Oh, I've been caught by the navy. However, we are smashing
You
it
are
as
dealing with
expected. Okay, I've landed.
Here we go, landing. Oh man. Why did I
Insufficient
only land with
naval.
8 troops though?
Yeah, that's a bit disconcerting. I made sure I had enough ships and everything. Maybe because they're cool.
What the hell? Because I sent 33 divisions and only a few of them got through.
Yeah, I sent 10, but 10 with one and 20 with the other. So I think my 20 must have gotten stuck. I don't know why I'm getting insufficient naval support because I got got 12 and 14 ships. If I land with 10 guys, that's clearly enough ships. That seems a bit odd.
So how is their defense so high?
They have a good good commander. The fact that they've got line infantry, which is decent defense.
You just gotta rush technological advancements. I'm rushing breach loading artillery right now. Rushing's a strong word. I'm going for it. If I get that in repeaters, we'll be able to take care of them. This war just may drag out a bit, and I am losing a lot economically. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm losing to irregulars in this fight. That's a bit ridiculous.
I've been offered a peace deal to take the Sultanate. Should I take it?
Ideally, we want our treaty ports, so no.
Yeah, we'd like to continue the war.
Okay, we'll continue.
We'll drag it out. We know that we can take it and end the war if we need to, though. Because the thing is, if we win it against the Qing and we force it on them, and we get probably Beijing, I'd say, then we can force the treaty ports. But if we can't, then
yeah, okay.
God damn, though. Even then.
I'm going to do a risky maneuver and try and go for their capital. Hope that they've got their troops stationed somewhere else.
I'm going to try something else. On rune. All right, 49 days.
How much of an army? 463 regular battalions. They're all line infantry. This is actually a tough fight.
Yeah, it is.
Just because of how
We're not
quickly China
technologically
can
far
get...
ahead enough.
Yeah, China can get this line infantry very quick.
If we get breach loaders and repeaters, though, we can win it. How are they beating my army down here? I don't understand.
Oh, you're taking a huge loss because you swapped your equipment.
Oh, I am. God damn it. It takes time. Alright, I'm gonna cancel that naval invasion. That will not end well.
Yeah, I've got mine landing in 1 day in Beijing. See how well this goes. Oh, I got 15 troops. However, I'm getting insufficient naval support. I've got plenty of boats. Oh, okay. We got forced.
Well, we won it, so we didn't land though. I mean,
that's very
small victory for me, no victory for you.
Yeah.
Again.
We gotta modernize and come back. That's what we gotta do.
Yes. Invest more into my military technology.
Yeah, we need
And
to
more boats. We need more boats.
Yes, and we can also
I'm gonna expand my navy as well.
I can get 60 ships. Why have I only got like 20? Maybe I need to build more?
Do you have enough ship makers in your buildings?
Yeah, you need to be able to actually have them.
They're fully staffed, but they're not making money, which seems a bit bizarre.
Are the products you need for making the ships very expensive?
Not really, no.
Oh.
Well, regardless, in that case, it's a success for Siam. Austria, as soon as we build up our navy a bit more and get breach loading artillery and better rifling, I suggest that we make another attempt.
Indeed.
But as representative of the King of Siam, can I ask if this is a cooperation between the nations of Austria and Prussia in the long run?
It is looking
not well, yeah. At the moment, we're friends. It's mutual
We're not
alliance
allies, but we have
working out,
mutual
but it's nothing
interests,
official.
And they're Germans, so we can work with.
Exactly. We know how they operate.
It's a working relationship. I understand those can be difficult. However, then I would like to ask both of your nations how they would feel about Siamese dominance in this peninsula of ours.
Really quick, Siam, have you been improving relations with me?
Yeah.
We're still not cordial, goddamn.
Nah, that happens at 25, I think, or 20,
Yeah,
something like that.
Alright, cool.
But you people, your kingdoms would be willing to support Siam in a possible expansion?
As we've already said to you, we will be supporting that, yes.
Yes, good. But that will come later. I shall now leave you two to your own devices.
Farewell.
Right, I will work on building up my navy, as well as... How do I build up my navy? Build this thing.
You have to build more naval, what are they called? Naval bases, and then it just takes time to recruit the officers and staff to actually man them.
I think it just takes a really long time.
It really does, yes. Takes a while.
It'd be nice if you could hit a button to spend more money to make it go faster.
To be fair, you can't just snap your fingers with money and make ships appear, you know. So it does kind of make sense.
But I don't think it's the ships that I'm missing. It appears to just be... I don't have enough qualified people, that's why.
Yeah. Same here.
Okay.
Who are your allies, Lily? Only the Dutch are technically our allies right now. Also, I'm streaming, so you know I'm not crazy. Well, you know that, never mind.
Don't worry.
Let's get 100 loyalists because I made a steel mill. You actually gave your people jobs, that's why. Germanic Korea, maybe. I don't think it makes sense at this point. Alright, so we just completely failed a major war of the Qing, which would be also another moment where Prussia would have to take a good hard look in the mirror and realize that it is perhaps not as advanced as it thought. So, tech-wise, we're going to go for repeaters, breech-loading artillery, and then I might get us to go for hand-cranked machine guns after. At that point, we'll be ready for an invasion of the Qing, and they will not be able to stop us. What's the roadmap for victory for forming Germany? You have to get pan-nationalism, and then you get like an event chain to form it. You need to hold like a certain number of states and things like that. As soon as you get nationalism, certain states will just start offering to join you, I believe primarily based on relations. So that's a big part of it. Still running a deficit. That's fine, we need these stimulus. Does it let you form Super Germany? Yes. Austria can also form Germany. There is an option to do that. Can be calm. It's basically anyone with like primarily, I think, German culture, because there's cultures in obviously the game. You have this play to like form Germany essentially. So anyone could do it. Even Bavaria could do it. I mean, we could start as like Hanover and do it, I think, from what I've seen. Yeah, it's an interesting feature. They need to do that for more cultures, though. I mean, Germany was like the really important one during this time period, to be fair, but still. France has declared the Dutch a rival. Ah, beautiful. All right, let's invite them to our customs union. Cool. We have access to some opium now, nice. What are we missing? We actually can provide most of what they need, to be honest. Which is good. A lot of it's because we're building so much, but I can't slow down our industrialization right now. Is the war system still goofy, or have you gotten used to it? It's a little goofy. It can be a little wonky at times. It needs more improvement. It's not unplayable, but it sure as fuck needs to be improved, that's for sure. I'm a big fan of the system. I'm not a fan of the bugs and the lack of polish. That's my issue of it. The core system itself, I personally really like. I really do like it. I like micromanagement in the context of Hoi 4, but Hoi 4 is the micro game. I don't want other Paradox games to be fucking micromanagement like that, you know? Like, I just don't. These are strategy games. They're grand strategy. If you want micromanagement, play Hoi 4 or play Total War, you know? Like, these are grand strategy. It's supposed to be about politics, economics, and military in relation to each other. Not just like... What's that quote Moscow said the other day? Steve from Ohio who loves lots of tank facts, you know? The guy who wants to talk about the 40 Wits division template he has for an hour. That's not what I want in a Paradox game, so... Yeah. That's how I see it. When will you go for Germany? We'll need to get pan-nationalism. We're not going to rush it. I'm going to write a big RP post before the next session, Jacob. And we will... I'm RPing basically a federal Prussia/Germany, so we're only going to form it based on cooperation. We're not going to invade anyone for it. I mean, a war with French over Alsace-Lorraine or something isn't theoretically off the table. I don't plan on it, but it could happen. But I want to try and do it purely diplomatically. I don't want to do like any wars and stuff. So I don't know. That's the way the RP has gone. I think it'll just be a little bit more interesting. It's easy just to click the button and take the territories, but we're going to do it more diplomatically. Plus, we're cooperating with the Austrians, and we can't piss them off, too. So we're not allies with them, but we are cooperating with them. Sweden high standing of living. Steel Division is a great game for those people. Keep tank minutia out of my Paradox damage. Exactly. Yeah, Steel Division is a very good game. I really enjoy it. It's a really fun game. There is a place for micromanagement. It's not a grand strategy game. Simple as that, in my mind. Because then it's just a strategy game. The difference is grand strategy is supposed to be extract. When you start micromanaging things that aren't like your economy or politics, things like war, you get outside of that realm. We should have a talk with Egypt.
What has happened?
Wait, where is everyone? Oh, meetup 1. Egypt, and there he is.
Well,
Also, the Portuguese used to be the strongest naval power in Europe previously.
Well,
Is
they
something
aren't
I
currently.
think I should mention.
The British are now, though.
Well,
Yeah,
we would just like to let it be known, even though we have to capitulate to these utterly ridiculous demands, that the Netherlands will no longer continue to have positive relations with
What
powers
exactly is
outside
happening
of,
with the Dutch?
Prussia.
Oh, we're having a peace conference to end future wars.
We
This
must
is
give up
quite
Dahomey.
boring.
We must stop expanding for 20 years. We must
give
recognize
up
Belgian
wars?
independence.
Yes.
The Dutch are being carved up for a second time, and it has. It
Out of
will
RP,
outrage
you guys
our
know
king.
we're in 1846, right?
Yep. The problem Britain has is that they will not accept the Treaty of
Hold
London.
on.
And
Yeah, that's what we're going. We're getting the Dutch to accept the Treaty of London. That's what's happening.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll accept the Treaty of London, and we'll even accept non-expansion for 20 years. The line that really crossed us was the demanding for Dahomey, but at the end of the day, we are incapable of defending ourselves against Britain, so we will have to capitulate to that claim if it is so integral to
I mean,
our
the
future
Prussians have
existing.
said that we will support you. I mean, if it's just the British.
Yes.
I
I mean,
feel like-
we will be fully willing to cooperate in the signing of the Treaty of London, and the Dutch main empire can agree to a stopping in expansion for 20 years.
Sounds wonderful.
If the other powers are willing to.
In exchange,
accept those
England will guarantee the continued economy in case there's a collapse, and its internal security against any attackers in these 20 years.
I'd just like to clarify, since we weren't at this meeting, again, the Prussian delegation has not been here up until this point. Like, what? It's the Treaty of London, I understand, but like specifically, you are splitting up the Dutch. I mean, does the rest of Europe support this?
We are informing them that we do not wish for them to conduct colonial attacks like they have been.
Colonial expansion is a completely reasonable thing and something the British have been doing for the last 100 years. So what's going on?
But their wars have spilled into Europe.
Yes,
so they do not consider it as acceptable anymore.
They invaded Spain. They don't recognize the Treaty of London. They do not have the naval capacity to defend these colonies whatsoever. They're completely overextended, and we view that it's time that they meet the demands of the rest of Europe.
That they are under the protection of the Prussians, right?
We understand, but that's irrespective
you
of
did
the.
not speak to us before you started carving up the Dutch. That's an issue.
Well, we're not carving up the Dutch. This is between the Dutch and the British. Dahomey is. Well, Dahomey is between the British and the Dutch. I specifically would like them to sign the Treaty of London, and I would move to not allow them to continue their African expansion, given that they cannot currently defend what they have.
Even with the Prussian help.
Yeah, even with Prussia's help. Together, your navies do not have the capacity to even ensure trade in industry and investment in Africa. Now, if you are to build a navy and colonize Africa, we're more than helping. I'm more than for that. Go ahead if you guys are able to do that. But the idea that Netherlands can form a vast colonial empire that it can't even defend, and that the rest of Europe needs to sit by and watch while they thumb their nose, not honoring the Treaty of London, this is just laughable. That's France's position.
So we want to clarify, you are cutting out non-French and British countries from any authority outside of Europe. Is that correct then?
If they do not conduct themselves in a manner we agree with, yes.
Well,
that is very worrying.
I would say
these are African issues. These are colonial issues. The Congress of Vienna does not speak about African holdings. If you would like to hold another conference and then we have another agreement over colonial holdings, that's fine. But there is no Congress of Vienna related to Africa.
We were told that there was no Congress of Vienna happening at all by the Swiss. We were
There
told
is
that
not.
this was a
This
peace
is a
conference.
peace conference.
This isn't. This is a peace conference.
I mean, you're making a decision that would frankly warrant a Congress of Europe, and as such, the Prussians are calling one.
Very well. That's
Very
probably
well.
it.
I feel like this is not.
No, like out of RP, what they're doing is
Congress
kind of
of
insane. So this needs a big European talk.
Okay.
Like, what they're doing is absolutely wild. So yes, we need a Congress of Vienna.
I've caused something.
I will.
No, you haven't. No, no.
Good job, guys.
Good meeting, though.
I put everyone in the same VC, and this happens, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
You're doing your job to avoid war, Switzerland.
Not really.
He's trying.
This
We
is
requested that the
Okay,
Dutch
let's
make
go,
no
let's go.
concessions
Yeah,
until the
no.
Congress, however.
Let's go.
Prussia to.
Wait, what'd you say? I just got in here.
I said, as Prussia called for this, I will allow Prussia to speak.
Very well. We should probably wait for the rest of the other powers if they're coming. We are still missing the Austrians. There's a Congress of Vienna, by the way. Something big almost happened that we weren't at. If you're still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we almost got fucked real hard. All right. Jesus Christ.
The natural speakers first would be Prussia and.
We are ready to speak.
Yes.
We have called this Congress of Vienna session here in Bern, and we'd first like to start by calling out the Swiss for what we view as frankly very misleading behavior. We were told that there was a conference of peace, one that did not warrant a Congress of Vienna, and we were told that it was a minor matter of peace. As such, we conducted other issues and sent no formal delegation to the meeting that just happened. To clarify to the other powers who were not there, our delegation walked in upon a meeting wherein the nations of the United Kingdom and France were attempting to force the Dutch to maintain almost no overseas colonies and territories. It is true that the Dutch have certainly expanded a lot recently, but to suggest other powers like France and Britain have not is laughable. Now, specifically, they gave the claim that the Dutch were not capable of sustaining what they own. Their fleet was not large enough, their army is not large enough, even though they are under the protection of the Prussian kingdom. Well, it is true that the Kingdom of Prussia cannot win at present a naval war with a power like Britain or France. The fact that they most certainly are capable of defending, if not winning, a land war in Europe. Now, we have no desire to fight a land war in Europe over a colonial matter, as colonial matters should stay out of it. But we see that as being broken due to the effects that the United Kingdom and the Kingdom of France were specifically attempting to push a complete destruction of colonial power on the Netherlands through basically suggestions that they couldn't do anything about it. Colonial wars should stay out of Europe, but if certain countries wish to entirely ban other European countries from not having any colonial matters, in our eyes, that would become, at that point, less a colonial matter and more an existential global matter, certainly a European one. We have called this meeting to ask the United Kingdom and France to basically state their piece as to why they think they have the right to block the entire planet from certain regions. Certainly you have strong navies. Britain can hide on their isle, the French cannot. We have no hostility to the French or the British up until this point and find this to be shocking. I'm sure there are many other European major powers who would find it very unacceptable that the French and the British get to dictate who and who cannot take territories in certain regions. That is all to start with.
Yes, I believe France will be allowed to speak. Thank you also for the Prussian delegation.
The delegation. I represent France, and I'm here to speak today about the Treaty of London that we all signed that recognized the independence of Belgium, and that the Dutch refused to sign. Afterwards, some years later, the Dutch have now invaded the island of Madagascar and parts of West Africa, as well as parts of the East Indies, where they've continued to expand. we see that these two things cannot go hand in hand. You cannot be a member of the European powers. You cannot be in good standings with the European powers, not accepting the independence of your neighbor and their rightful claims to independence, while also maintaining such a colonial empire. The French's position on this matter is that we wish for the Netherlands to no longer gain any land in colonial wars for a period of 20 years until they are able to field a navy and that can protect the their colonial holdings, and that they sign the Treaty of London, given the situation and how important it is to recognize our neighbors' independence in Europe. We see this as important and part of the peace conference that Switzerland was holding. That's why we had gone, was to see actual peace here in Europe, where we recognize the independence of our neighbors and act in good faith with one another. The Germans' accusation that we are somehow trying to determine who can and cannot declare war across the world is laughable. The Ottomans have been allowed to expand in their areas, and the Portuguese have been allowed to expand in their areas. And we've ensured the sovereignty of Dutch Madagascar, which is a perfectly acceptable colony for them. However, the size of one's colonies must be a direct correlation to the strength of their country's navy in maintaining peace in those areas, or we will lose large portions of the European economy to unrest should the countries be unable to defend their own holding. That's the position that France holds. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe Great Britain wishes to speak. And I think we can have the majors up on stage same time. Austria. Russia. Does it wish to speak?
Friends, Europeans, fellow community members, lend me your ear. For I speak of a story. What would happen if one nation with colonial empire attacked another European nation for their colonial empire? I tell you, it'd be a European war. That's something that has not been seen since Napoleon, since we started this Council of Vienna system. This is what has offended so much Great Britain and France. Before this day, we were perfectly fine to allow the Dutch to grow their empire, seeing how their massive outlays in the Dutch East Indies. But it has come to our attention that they have growing ambitions that we cannot find acceptable anymore. Now, we were perfectly happy to sit them down and tell them, you need to stop expanding because you're going to start a war in Europe, and none of us want that. It was a peace conference. That's why we were there. However, immediately the Dutch representative started questioning the sovereignty and the existence of the Belgian state, which we found quite offensive. They then made the incredible remark saying that their economics had told them that in the next 10 years that they'd be able to expand again. And we questioned, with what navy are you going to expand with? And they simply said that they're going to build one up. And once we told them that the other great powers would object to their expansion, they simply ignored us and said how offensive it was that we'd even raised the notion. Great Britain here wishes for a global free market that we all recognize each other. We cannot have that if parties that cannot defend their trade routes take land that they cannot defend. It becomes chaos, and chaos breeds war. And while war is indeed good for business, peace is also good for business. Now, Great Britain was happy to sign off on guaranteeing the rights of Holland all the way through the next 20 years as they prepared to expand again. Except in the case of Dahomey, a land that we had lands on. In which case, we warned them that if they continued to act in a manner that was aggressive and warmongering, that they would lose Dahomey. Now, as witnesses can say in the matter, there was no demand for them to hand over Dahomey, but it was said to them that I would not guarantee the safety of Dahomey. And that is what came to the Dutch deciding to hand it over rather than even attempt to defend it, even with knowledge of that they had an ally in the Prussians. Now, yes, the Prussians have the greatest land army in the world. Unfortunately, Asia and Africa are an ocean away. And as the famous song goes, Britannica rules the seas. Now, I'm not here to question Prussia's ability to ever make a navy that can fight us, but it is clear as to all of Europe that they do not have one that can fight Great Britain, let alone Great Britain and France. Finishing off, I would like to remind everyone that Great Britain wishes for peace and free trade, and nothing more and nothing less. That is all.
To be honest, the Spanish delegation finds this the statements of the United Kingdom to be incorrect. There was, in fact, a demand for Dahomey at the peace conference.
So I will defend myself. I said that if they kept acting in such a manner, they were going to lose Dahomey.
No, you
And
said.
then the Great Britain said that we would not guarantee their rights to protect Dahomey.
I just want to clarify this very, very simply. There's a couple things here that need note. Essentially, what you are doing is using the word peace alongside the Swiss, which is frankly shocking, you and the French, to put a gun to the head of Europe and say, oh, we're for peace, which is why you shouldn't take any colonies, because then there will be war and we will attack you. You're sitting on this banner of peace when all you want to do is
saying you should not take colonies from European powers.
Colonies. What you're also suggesting is going to lead to a naval arms race. My government has just set aside the money to build up our fleet to match that of the British, and I assume many states in Europe will follow. You're about to create a naval arms race in order to, as you say, protect power abroad. Is this truly what you want? Is that the peace that you desire?
Yes.
So
and it's very easy for you to say this. A
naval arms race that will result at some point in a larger war than there otherwise would have been.
I disagree with the characterization of the arms race, but
why would any European power not build a navy if they cannot take a foreign territory if they don't have one, which is what you're saying?
I think it's clear that we're simply saying that if you are a country who wishes to gain colonies in Africa, which are going to affect the stability of the economy across the world, and specifically in Europe, which affects our European stability, that you must be a country that is able to defend those colonies and defend those areas. Right now, if the if the Dutch continue their expansion and they were to, say, take Sokoto Caliphate, and the Sokoto Caliphate is now the large exporter of goods that the European markets rely on, what is to stop the Sokoto from rising up? Nothing, because there is no navy that can support the military, the navy, the colonial ambitions of the Netherlands. We are simply asking France and Britain that the countries that continue colonial expansion in Asia and Africa and elsewhere just simply live within their means so that they can maintain stability in those places to not upset our new global economy that we all are investing.
The Prussians profit greatly from the global economy. That's not what is in question here. What is in question is your power to exert authority over colonial states. One nation I'm very curious to hear from that we haven't is the Austrian Empire. I apologize. We're very curious to hear what the Austrians have to say about all this, as they too, I believe, had been seeking colonies. I mean, what you're saying is since their fleet isn't strong enough, France and Britain will not allow them to do so. So we'd be very curious to hear from the delegation from Austria.
Thank you, delegation of Prussia. I do appreciate giving the chance to speak. My opinion is here. It's all good, France and Britain, with already established empires, saying that because they have a navy due to already having established empires built long before you even had the navy to fully facilitate them, to then start demanding other European nations can't colonize is a bit ridiculous, especially when you consider that the already mighty British fleet is stretched thin across its entire empire. yes, you could protect your home coasts, but we could invade India, we could invade Australia. You say you protect them, but let's be honest, if you were to face the full might of any superior power, an alliance, let's say, such as the 7th or 5th Coalition, then your empire would barely even stand against our fleets. So it's all good you posturing yourself as the great big nation, but you're one poor naval battle away from losing your entire empire. Now, obviously, me and Prussia, we don't want a big global war, but we're not going to suddenly back down because one of our allies decides that, oh, they want to expand some colonies so they can grow their economy, but you two decide that you're big enough to bully Europe. And I think that's just unacceptable.
Well,
I don't understand how it's bullying to protect. Well, we're moving to protect the market of Europe.
We'd also like to question why it was that.
Hold on. Look right now. There's an uprising right now in the Dutch East Indies. They cannot even keep their own people in check because they did not have the military capacity to stop the unrest. Look, it's happening right now as we're all in this.
Yeah, we're handedly winning.
It's absolutely ridiculous to suggest that you could, in any
so you're
way,
saying any
defend your
country that
colonies.
gets a civil war can't win it? I mean, it's ludicrous to suggest that just because there's a civil war doesn't mean they can't have power. The Netherlands forces are already engaging forces there, and if necessary, the Prussians can send some as well. Which leads me to my other issue. Why were the United Kingdom and France trying to force a treaty on the Dutch, who are a close friend and ally of the Prussians, without even a message to Berlin? That is a level of poor diplomacy we haven't seen in Europe since before the Napoleonic
We were invited to a
Wars.
peace conference. We did not know that who was attending, or if you were attending or not attending, and as well
that as a personal
we didn't
insult
realize
slight that you did not approach us.
The Dutch are clearly not a vassal state of Prussia, are they? Or are you claiming that they are now? Are you going to continue? You've already expanded to other princes. Do you consider the Dutch German now? Why would we need to consult with you in a third-party conference on to sign a treaty that we've all already signed? We've all already signed the Treaty of London.
If I were to launch a naval invasion right now of the Ottomans to take them under myself as a protectorate, don't you think it would be rather rude of me not to send an envoy to Paris, since you are friends with them and allies, to let you know of that situation?
We have not threatened a naval invasion of the Netherlands at all. That's never been anything.
You attempt to force a treaty upon them and made threats. There's very little difference here.
We've never threatened to invade the Netherlands. Not a single
Two of the world's
time.
pinnacle powers showing up in a room with the Dutch all alone and making it clear that they want peace, which they never stopped saying, and telling them they had to break up their empire. If you were smaller, I suspect you would also feel as though you didn't have an option. One doesn't need to claim to make a threat to still give one.
Look who's talking. The one who has annexed Principality at the Principality in Germany under claim that it's peaceful.
We must have had armies walking around Europe that I weren't aware of. Where was this evidence for the annexation of these territories?
Where is the kingdoms that were? What do you mean? You've taken over those kingdoms?
Suggests that land is taken without permission. Those people joined the Federative Kingdom of Prussia out of choice.
Yeah. What choice did they make, though? Why did they choose Prussia instead of Austria?
You can put a tax on me and ignore your own actions here. I don't really care. It's still an issue of...
They joined you because you had the largest army in Europe.
So just so you know, the idea that we were invited to a third-party conference by the Swiss, and our objective was to get the Belgian or the Dutch to sign the Treaty of London. You think that it's an insult that we didn't make sure you were there, even though we were under the impression
this was a matter
that
for
you
the
were
Congress
invited.
of Vienna, and you passed it off as a minor peace
How is
conference.
it a Congress of Vienna?
Gentlemen, I will add also, you actually made demands that he give up the homie.
I did not make that demand.
The UK, you denied it, but you did a demand multiple times.
I did not make that demand.
You did make that demand, yes.
Everyone heard you. You can't.
The government can deny it, but if there are witnesses there, then they know it happened.
The French's position has never been to give up the Duchess of Dahomey, by the way. I never said that.
So I think we need to speak about the bigger issue here, which is why there is now a power block between the French and the United Kingdom, forcing demands on other European powers. That's the real issue at this Congress of Vienna, and I think the other European powers need to take a good, hard moment to think about how we're going to deal with this.
Why are you scared of free
Why
trade?
did the Congress of
We are
Vienna
trying to
start
make
in the first place? A power so dangerous in Europe that it could not be faced without the other European powers. United Kingdom and France working together, enforcing their opinion on others in Europe. It reminds me of the coalition wars, which we fought not decades ago.
Well, we are a constitutional monarchy that remains in the House of Orleans, and we are not some upstart republic or some ridiculous Napoleon
Certainly not.
Bonaparte.
So why are you acting
We are the
like
Kingdom
one?
of France. We are not acting like
You're acting like a
out
common
race.
thug.
We are
like a
simply asking.
third world country.
Your neighbor, Netherlands, the Dutch neighbors. The position of France, as I clearly stated, was that they signed the Treaty of London, recognize that their neighbors are independent and that they will not invade, and then allow them to continue to build up their country and continue to build up their
colonies.
colonies.
Will not allow that to happen. That's not the issue here. The issue again is how the United Kingdom and France have the right to
Prussia,
force these
you
things on other
signed the
countries.
Treaty of London. You've signed the Treaty of London. What do you, I don't understand how you
conglomerating two issues together. You are talking about the recognizing of the Belgian state. That is an issue that is right. That needs to be discussed with the Dutch. But you are also putting in there your power to force foreign and colonial issues on the Netherlands. Those issues are not put together, and you need to remove them. We are talking about you forcing extra European policy on a country without any other acceptance in Europe and unilaterally. If you start there, you'll move to other countries. The Treaty of London relates specifically to the acknowledgement of Belgium and European issues, but you used it as a mechanism and a tool to push your foreign colonial policy on a country and continue to divide up the world between you and the United Kingdom, which own much of the colonial territory of the world. You're sitting on the high horse of the Treaty of London when it pertains nothing to the issue we're discussing here.
The initial issue and the topic of conversation at the conference in Switzerland was the Treaty of London and the continued expansion of colonies in Africa.
Again, two separate issues.
These are not two separate issues.
How are these two separate issues?
Maybe
it's
not
the
to
same
you.
country, and they're acting belligerent in Europe. Why do you have to separate them?
They're
All
not
we're
acting
saying,
belligerent in Europe.
listen,
They're refusing
all-
to acknowledge the
all
Belgians,
we're
which is an
saying-
issue.
We are trying
but-
to issue a compromise. We are saying that you
Yes.
cannot force a European power to just dismantle its entire colony system.
Correct.
We are
This is not what
saying
we're doing.
The Treaty of London didn't give you the right to do that.
We've never
And
done
the
that,
Dutch
Austria. Austria, what are you talking about? Like, you pulled that out of nowhere. We
We-
never said that. We literally never
you were
said that.
trying to dictate where a person can colonize.
We never told them that they had to dismantle their current colonial settings. We literally did the opposite. We said that we will recognize their sovereignty over Madagascar.
You took the Dutch out on a
and the
boat
Dutch
all
and
alone,
these-
and you sat there with guns, and then you tried to make them sign a treaty because there's this suggestion of violence. That's what that was. You suggested it. You didn't have to say it. And you could sit here on your high horse and try and pretend that didn't happen, but Europe knows will happen, which is why you're here now. So I think we need to start getting some serious commitments from the French and United Kingdom's governments that this will not continue in the future. Now, the Belgian issue should and can be discussed. That is true.
May I ask a
but
question?
Well, how are
May-
you
may
the
Great Britain
signatory
ask
of
a
the
question
Treaty of... Yeah, go ahead.
Prussia. Did the Netherlands attack Spain?
in the recent war?
Yes.
The Netherlands just invaded Spain in a land war, and you're talking like they're not.
Hold on,
Let Prussia
for the
respond.
GC, out of RP, are we gonna run with that? Because that was our fuck up, because we didn't realize the rules on that.
I mean, that's what started this whole thing. You have.
I would not roll with that. The war didn't. That did not happen.
So RP-wise, there was no naval invasion of Spain, and we white pieced it. Correct. Okay, so yeah, that was a fuck up. But regardless, that still doesn't
we're not
explain where
talking
at.
about we're not talking about the naval invasion of Spain. We're talking about did the Netherlands attack Spain for the purposes of gaining Spanish land?
Do not try to change the subject now.
No, this is the subject. They're accusing us of something.
Perhaps the
and
Spanish would like to speak on this. Spain, what are your thoughts here?
No, I want Prussia to answer this question.
No.
Did
We'll
the
defer
Netherlands
this issue
attack
to the
Spain?
Spanish. Spain, what are your thoughts here? You have not spoken
Prussia,
much.
I want you to answer this question.
We
Did
have
the
heard the British
Netherlands
delegate go
attack
on and
Spain?
on. We'd
here
love to
comes
hear
the
what the
British
Spanish
again,
have to
trying
say.
to make everyone do their bidding.
The Spanish... There was indeed a Spanish attack of the Dutch East Indies because we felt that we had no other choice, as the empires of the main two powers, mainly France and the UK, have already split up Africa, according to them.
there you go.
So we were forced
the,
to expand our influence elsewhere.
So the conflict that you're
Yes,
using an example
forced
of why
to
this is
expand.
necessary is due
No.
to your two countries.
I'm asking a question here. Did the Netherlands?
Oh, we've heard you.
Declare
You've
war
been saying it
on
repeatedly.
Spain?
But my point
And
here
I've
is
not
to
been
say
given an answer.
the issue and why we are here is Britain and France's control
No.
of
We are
global
here
colonialism and
because
trade.
the Netherlands attacked Spain.
No, that is not what happened.
let's
The Spanish
be honest
declared
here.
war on the East Indies and me, and the Dutch. The Dutch have declared only colonial wars. We've not once declared war on a European power. We are
Correct.
willing to sign the Treaty
Well,
of London.
so there was no war between the Dutch and the
There
Spanish.
was.
that
It was a
Out of
Spanish
curiosity,
war.
to
It
the
was a
Dutch
Spanish
ambassador,
war.
did you
He
agree to
admits that
sign
he
the Treaty of
declared
London
war on
at that
another
meeting?
European power.
Gentlemen,
That
order.
is actively
Prussia?
not what I'm saying.
Can I
Prussia.
get a
Opposite.
witness to claim that the Dutch admitted to declaring war on another European power?
Spain. Who declared war on who in our war? Who sent that treaty off?
No. Who declared
was-
war?
Oh, let him speak. By all means. Spain?
Portugal.
Yes.
The Dutch.
So the Spanish subject of Lan Fang wished to increase its influence, and the Spanish crown was backed into a corner of expansion opportunities.
But who declared the war, Spain?
This subject of Lan Fang declared the war.
Which is the subject of the Kingdom of Spain, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So it was
Prussia,
a defensive war for the Dutch. So not really an attack on a European power.
Prussia and Austria and the other delegates. I just want to make the French position once again very clear. I simply would like for them to sign the Treaty of London and not continue expansion in the African areas. Hold on, the African areas. Hold on. Let me finish. The Dutch and I have already agreed with, which was this the Detente Emirate. The Dutch and I agreed with that separately. That's all I wanted.
To the
the
Dutch
rest of these
delegate.
demands. Hold on, the rest of these demands are the British. Okay, that is what I'm saying.
Okay, we're glad
Is it
to hear
the-
that the
the
French
Dutch-
delegation's more reasonable. But to the Dutch, are you wanting to accept the colonial ones? Because you said you'll accept the Treaty of London, which is fair. But given if you had known there had been more European support to defend you, would you have agreed to anything relating to colonial concessions or allowing these countries to force anything upon you?
The only agreement I would have made is a halting of 5 to 10 years on colonial expansion, which at this stage is now about 3 years from when I initially.
But why would you
have,
need to do that?
Agreed to that. Well, I was the Dutch nation. We were waiting for an expansion in our military operations, which now I actually feel is pretty sufficient. We're now the 3rd largest navy in the world. So I say that people claiming that we do not have the capacity just because we've got smaller than their navy is an inaccurate statement. Because if they have to claim we don't have the capacity, they must also claim that every other European power does not have the capacity to colonize.
Is that still the position of the
Africa or
United
others.
Kingdom?
What?
I will add that the Netherlands has more than a quarter of the navy of the United Kingdom.
I would request to repeat the thing I'm supposed to answer.
Are you still of the position that the Dutch and other countries do not have the right to any colonial power as long as they do not have a navy that can eclipse that of yours or of the French? Was that what you said originally?
No, that is not what I ever said.
What did you say?
What do you mean?
Well, you spoke here extensively. We heard it here
We
before
want
about
peace,
how
yeah.
certain countries do not have the right to hold colonial territories if they can't look after their
This
own
is not
trading
what we
lanes.
said. This is not what Great Britain said.
Did other European powers also mishear this, or am I alone here?
No, that's exactly what he said. He said if we don't
No,
have a
we
big enough
said-
navy to protect our
Yes.
holdings, then we
If we
can't
didn't
have
have
them.
a big enough navy to protect our holdings, so do you
I
maintain
mean-
that position, United Kingdom?
I do not appreciate the characterization of our position for us, and I deny the implication.
So you no longer hold that opinion, then?
I deny that I ever held the opinion.
The French
Well, then
delegate
it-
would like to put forth a resolution to this problem. I think this is something that we can agree to on both sides here, because I think that this is getting a little unreasonable. I think that the Dutch signing of the Treaty of London is a given. I think that they had already agreed to that. We had spoken about that separately. I think that they are right in that their system and the military has been built up that they can continue to their efforts in Africa and agree to the deal that him and I had stepped forward related to the Muslims in that area. And as part of that recognition of Belgium and the continued understanding, I think we can move forward. That this is clearly been an issue on the Treaty of London, and it's unfortunate that the colonial ambitions between all nations in Europe have gotten tied up here.
For the sake of peace, the United Kingdom is willing to sign on to the deal France has presented.
We would also like to formally state before the powers of Europe that the Dutch are under the protection as allies of Prussia. Although we do not currently have the fleet that can contend either one, we do currently have ships that are far more advanced than both of you, and we are currently growing quickly. Again, we don't want a conflict here, but we reject utterly and will defend nations who have the right to have colonial extent throughout the world, and our navy will only grow. And once it does so, we call upon the other European powers of the Congress of Vienna to support each other in being able to maintain colonial power abroad and reject any European power that attempts something like this ever again.
Is there anyone that disagrees with the proposal of Netherlands signing the Treaty of London and moving forward?
We are the only itemized proposal.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
To be the only proposal led for I believe that you have already accepted signing the Treaty of London.
Okay.
I'll sign the Treaty of London. That's accepted at this point, definitely.
So, okay, awesome. Yeah, so that was our main goal, and I hope that the other European powers understand the importance here that we have given to make sure that that everyone recognizes their neighbor's independence in the country or in Europe.
Does all nations say aye or nay?
Aye. Great Britain says aye.
Well, if the Netherlands has already agreed,
they've already agreed upon it, correct?
Yep.
Yes, I believe we expect your government and, of course, His Majesty the King to sign officially such a document. Upon that, I believe that the issue is resolved. As an arbitrator chosen by both sides, I might, of course, caution the powers of Europe not to aggressively expand their navies. I think we might, as things stand, we might even see the deforestation of all of Europe for how many ships will be needed if all powers are to be more powerful than Britain. Now, I believe this council is finished. If no one wishes to allow Belgium or the Switzerland to speak on the behalf. If not, I believe we're done here, gentlemen.
I think we're calling the game here, right, too?
Yes, we are.
Cool.
GG's, guys.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and here for the day. We reached a conclusion of the Congress of Vienna, and on that note, we also became the third largest power. We have the most advanced navy in Europe. We have the largest and most advanced military, too. So we have gotten very strong this game. So, all right, guys, we're going to end here for the day. Let me go find someone to raid real quick. See if there's anyone to raid. Also, Christoph, I saw you talking earlier. If you're still here, what's up, man? Thank you for the follow, Rot Plus. And was there another one? Did acknowledge? Thank you for the follow, Wojtek, as well. And Rose Trans Girl. Thank you for the follows. Let's go see if there's someone to raid. Here's any Vic streamers right now. Oh, this was an interesting game. God damn. I'm glad I picked Prussia, man. This is gonna be fun.
You have to pick up your teammate once.
This is gonna be a fun one. We're gonna become a name. We have to become a name. Like, I wanted to do it anyway for fun, but now we have to. Like, there's no other option. We have to be a naval power, or we can't have colonies. So, that is where we are at. We'll go raid LMG. He's playing some Zomboid. We'll go shoot him a raid. I am gonna dip though, so I won't stick around, but go shoot him a quick raid. Alright guys, I will not be back streaming until Friday. Friday mornings, more Star Wars Stellaris roleplay as the Rebel Alliance. We have, let's see, a new game of Hearts of Iron on Saturday morning. I'm going to be doing a playthrough as the French exiles in Kaiser Redux. We're going to be trying to get back, obviously, our homeland. That'll be single player, and it'll be role-played out-ish. So, we'll continue Millennium Dawn roleplay as United States next Saturday afternoon. I will continue the Grand Campaign next Sunday morning, and then we'll continue this Vicky 3 game next Sunday afternoon. If you ever want to see any of the past stuff, there's always my YouTube channel. I don't usually promote that, but I'll do it this time because sometimes context is important. All right, guys, I'll catch you around.